What the hell is going on? Okay, so you're in tune to Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, and I'm going to allow the area to populate. I'm going to allow the area to populate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a video. I'm going to go into a short video. Allow the area to populate. Where are we? Where are we? Let me have a look here. Let me have a look here. What's going on? What is going on? Okay. For the damn notification came through quickly. Well, firstly, where am I? Let's get the music crunk. Okay. Hopefully you should be able to hear that. Where are we? We're looking for the warm-in video. We are looking for the warm-in video, which will allow the area to populate. I'm scrolling down. Scrolling down. Okay, I found a quick one. Yes. It's right. Hold on. You got to start that thing. You got to start that thing from the beginning. Let's share. Okay. And let us commence with warm-in video. Cut the music. Let's go. It's the Combat Radio. And if you've not subscribed already, please kindly do so by hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Okay. And let's get straight into it. So what's the story? The story is Tyson Fury's message to Deontay Wilder, just released, fresh off the press. Okay, and without much further ado, let's get straight into it.
This is a message to address Deontay Wilder's recent comments on how I don't want to fight him. Oh, how afraid of him I am. If I was afraid of you, I wouldn't have fought you after I've been 3 years out the ring and beat you in your own country. You had to rob me and give me a draw. So I don't know why on earth you would think I'm bothered about you. Just get through your fight with Ortiz. Do your own thing. Stop using my name for elephants. You should be on 20%, but I'm not giving you a fair share because I'm a fair man. I don't ask for anything in this world. I work hard for everything. So the thing is with you, Wilder, crack on with your own business, and I'll see you February 22nd to finish what I started. This time, you're going to get smashed, you big bum dosser. End of. This is the message to address you.
Oh dear. Wow. That is a serious message. A message to Deontay Wilder, who Tyson Fury addresses as you big bum dosser. As we know, Deontay Wilder is scheduled to fight none other than Luis Ortiz. I forgot what's his nickname. What's his nickname? Has he got a nickname? Luis Ortiz, the Cuban, now residing in America, being 40 years of age. For the last 10 years, the man is ageless. Although he reputedly was failing his medical prior to the first Deontay Wilder fight. So he's fighting a man who could barely get through the medical. But that's for another video. In the meantime, Tyson Fury has stern words for the man he calls your big bum. Says he should only be given Wilder 20%. So it looks like Wilder is set to get an extra 30%. Oh, there. It's a quick one. Oh, this is a good picture. What the hell's going on here? That's the message. So, Deontay Wilder, you have been told, you have been forewarned by Tyson Fury. Many people have been speculating. This picture is amazing. Many people have been speculating that Fury's going to pull a sick note on February the 22nd, 2020. That's their scheduled date for their rematch, which will take place, no doubt, in the US of A. What say you? I think Fury, after some doubts that I had, I think Fury will actually make the date. But you never know with Fury. He's a tricky one. He's a slippy one. What do you think? Will he turn up or will he pull a sickie? That's the question on everyone's minds. Where am I? Where is that thing that I just saw? It wasn't on Twitter. It was on Instagram. Let's head on over to Instagram and hear from Tyson Fury again. This message will see you out. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And here we are. Boom.
This is a message to address Deontay Wilder's recent comments on how I don't want to fight him. Oh, how afraid of him I am. If I was afraid of you, I wouldn't have fought you. After having 3 years out the ring and beat you in your own country. You had to rob me and give me a draw. So I don't know why on earth you would think I'm bothered about you. Just get through your fight with Ortiz. Do your own thing. Stop using my name for elephants. You should be on 20%, but I'm not giving you a fair share because I'm a fair man. I don't ask for anything in this world. I work hard for everything. So the thing is with you, Wilder, crack on with your own business, and I'll see you February 22nd to finish what I started. This time, you're going to get smashed, you big bum dosser. End of. This is...
Okay. So that was a warming video. Let's get the music crunk and let's get into the show. Okay, let me have a look what we got here. Let's refresh this page. Look what we got here. Okay, sound check in effect. Everything appears to be in order and we can commence. Okay, so welcome one and all. It is a boxing talk with Raphie, and I think we're on 68 now. Yeah, boxing talk with Raphie, 68. Let me refresh my page. What? Are we good? I think everything is in order. Let me check over at YouTube. Yeah, that was risky. That was hairy. Okay, it's boxing talk with Raphie, 68. And topics for discussion. Topics for discussion today. We got three main themes. Three main themes, which are LDBC versus the Pbc. We got the countdown for Wilder versus Ortiz. And we have the Joshua We'll be discussing Joshua versus Ruiz and Joshua securing the big bag. Okay, so where are we? First things first, let me put the invitation. Let me put the invitation in the chat. So there you go. What we got in the building? We got Junior. Is my clock fast? No, my clock was slow. Big boys boxing in the building. ID. What's good? Yeah, man, everything's good over here, bro. Everything's good over here. All hectic as per usual. Can you hear the music in the chat? Hectic as per usual. Okay. Boxing Jedi in the building. Yes, Boxing Jedi. Who else we got? We got Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear is in here. Okay. The link is in the chat. Feel free to jump on as we proceed. Let me get into my first topic. Okay, let's do this. Harold Knight. Okay, so Harold Knight. Harold Knight as okay, we got Box Kings also in the building. Okay, I think for the first time, welcome to the chat. It's Boxing Talk with Raphie. Okay, so yeah, first topic. We're going straight in. Harold Knight has been brought into the Joshua camp. What's interesting about that is that, as we know, where's my face? Let's get some FaceTime. Big Boys Boxing in the building. How you doing, Big Boys Boxing? How's it going?
Not too bad, brother. And yourself?
Yeah, man. Hectic as per usual. But, you know, the show has started. So long as the show has started, it's all good. It's all good. I've had a good day. Cannot complain. I've eaten good. Cannot complain. So here we are. Action-packed. We got a full list here today. Anybody else wants to jump in? The link is in the chat. Let me put it in again because we're going in now. We are going in now. Okay, so Harold Knight. Where are we? Where's my pen? Let me just mark this. Harold Knight. Okay, Harold Knight, as some of you may know, was closely associated with Deontay. No, not Deontay, or Lennox Lewis throughout his career. And he has now apparently been brought in by Anthony Joshua, Team Joshua. He's been brought in to, well, obviously, have his input on the thing. And it's kind of interesting to me because he was reluctant. Anthony Joshua has been reluctant to reach out to Lennox Lewis, understandably. Lennox Lewis has been quite harsh to Anthony Joshua in the press. But it's interesting to me because he's reached out to a guy, or he's had his people reach out to a guy who is closely associated with Lennox Lewis. Harold Knight, an ex-boxer himself, like I said, played a big part, played a role in the Lennox team, Lennox Lewis. And so, in a sense, to me, this seems like Anthony Joshua has reached out for almost a portion, almost a portion of Lennox Lewis. Didn't want to go to the man himself, but he went to a man who was closely associated with him. So, in a sense, he's admitting that he wants some of that Lennox Lewis flavor in his camp. What's your take on this thing? Have you heard of this Big Boys Boxing? Had you heard?
No, news to me. I haven't had a chance to catch up on the news today yet, but I've seen in recent weeks there's quite a few different people going through Anthony Joshua's camp at the moment, so he's certainly covering every base available.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably beneficial to him, an experienced head in there, how much he can take on and how much time they've got left. I mean, what is it? A couple of weeks left or 3 weeks left until the fight. So
yeah,
they'll be coming towards the end of sparring and whatnot now. But yeah, every little bit of knowledge you can pick up from everywhere is a bonus, no matter who you are. So
absolutely.
I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Let me try and get a picture up because some people may not know the name. They know the face better than the name. Let me get this picture up here of Harold Knight. Have I got that saved? Yeah, that's better. And let's share that.
I think I've got his BoxRec profile up. His last fight was in 1988. Harold Knight.
Harold Knight, yeah. 1988. Okay, so I should be sharing now. So for people who aren't familiar with the name, I think you will be familiar with the face. He was a regular feature in Team Lewis. I was a big fan of Lennox Lewis, and strangely enough, or interestingly enough, he actually follows me on Twitter now. So yeah, this is Harold Knight, ex-boxer himself. And I remember they had very close. I used to watch documentaries, used to watch everything I could on Team Lennox Lewis, being a big fan as I am. And this guy was always talking to Lennox. He was always talking to him, always giving him little tips, little bits of advice. Always when they were running, he was talking. And when they were training, he was talking to him. In the corner, he was talking to him. Came over as a very cool, calm, and collected individual. Cool, calm, and collected. Harold Knight, yes, indeed, he was a welterweight, I believe. Is that correct? You got him on BoxRec there, Big Boys Boxing?
Super featherweight.
Super featherweight. Yeah.
Almost lightweight.
Yeah. So very, very light guy. Very light guys. Some say Boxing King says Knight was the answer to Lennox Lewis's rematch with Rahman. How was he the answer? Boxing Kings. How was he the answer? I know that Manny Stewart was in his corner by then.
I was going to say that is probably the next best thing when it comes to experience to Manny Stewart. But
yeah. Next best thing. Yeah, that I would agree with that. It was the next best thing, but Manny Stewart was in there, so I guess Hasim Rahman. Wasn't that the South Africa fight? That was the fight in South Africa, was it not?
Oh, I can't remember.
Hasim Rahman. Yeah. I'm 99.99999% sure that was the fight in South Africa. And if I'm correct, which I'm pretty damn sure I am, because I remember Rahman flew back out of South Africa before he went to meet Nelson Mandela. Flew back out to America before he got to meet Nelson Mandela. Lennox Lewis stuck around. Press were there, stuck around after his defeat and met the great Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela allegedly told Lennox Lewis, "You'll get him next time." If the great Nelson Mandela tells you you're gonna beat him next time, it's gonna fill you with confidence. Was I right? Was it in South Africa? Big Boys Boxing? Was that?
Yes, you were. You were correct.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that very, very clearly. I think we've talked about that fight multiple times on this channel, and we talked about the altitude issue. I haven't found that book you asked me about, but I'm pretty sure it was called The Sportsman's Handbook. I don't know if it's still available on Amazon or eBay, but it was a book with a blue cover. If that helps, can't remember the name of the author or authors, but it was The Sportsman's Handbook. Got to be going back must have been printed at least 20 years ago. So that would have been the publishing date. Okay, so that's the first one. The first one in the books. Harold Knight is brought in by the Joshua camp. Okay. Right. And where am I gonna go here? I think we're gonna go straight in. Stop sharing that. We're going to go straight in with a big topic. And this one is, let me find the window. Too many windows open. Can dispense of that one now. We are going in with, need to close some of these windows. Too many windows open. Let me look at this. Yeah, at least we've got the description boxes full. That's a good thing. Let me turn the volume up on this. And let's go.
I was denied for press credentials, bro. You best believe that, bro. No matter how many times.
Go again with that. Let me get the mic closer. Okay. Let me kill the music.
Magnum Media, sorry about that. So Magnum Media. You best believe I was denied, bro. You best believe I was denied for press credentials, bro. You best believe that, bro. No matter how many times you apply, I applied, bro. You best believe PBC denied me all the time. PBC can't wait. I shouldn't say PBC, but Magnum Media can't wait to deny me press credentials. Jimmy don't say, yo, Cali, bro, you elaborate more about this Pbc Belt. Is this facts or just something to talk about? It could happen, but there's no,
Okay. So that's the next topic. The LDBC versus PBC. So that was just a clip. From my old buddy. Me old buddy Cali Enigma. Managed to catch a bit of his live stream today, and he said what you heard him say. He said that you better believe the PBC have been denying me press credentials. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can add Cali Enigma to the list of people, the list of LDBC members who have been consistently and repeatedly denied press credentials by Uncle Al Heyman. Let us continue.
I haven't heard anything about it being in the works, but it could happen. They should. Perfectly know the cycle. If you got to warm your car up, it's usually always cooler than they are today. We're going to be in the 70s today, man, on a 12-hour shift. They said, how in the hell does Steve King get a pass to anything? It's beyond me shaking my head. Yeah, because he don't have this skin complexion, bro. And he ain't this. He ain't this, brother. He ain't this. If you don't look like this, you got a chance to get a press pass. I'm no BS. If you look like this, your chance to get a press pass go down dramatically. Now I can go to Top Rank. Check this out. I can go to Top Rank and apply for a press pass and get it. I can get a Top Rank press pass regularly. I get a Top Rank press pass. If I get denied, I can call Evan Korn and get a press pass or something like that, or speak to somebody else. I get a press pass. PBC, you got to go through steps and you still get denied a lot of times. Heck, Blue Blood has been denied multiple times. Blue Blood has been denied by PBC multiple times. Blue Blood, freaking Blue Blood. You want to talk about unbiased? That's Blue Blood. Why we is us the only people that is keeping the unboxing live true. He said, "What's good, Cali LDBC? So looking like you in Alaska. Why PBC on that huff though? That tell me, bro. 5-3 line salute to the Cali in the chat. Come on, so I don't see PBC screwing in a great relationship with the WNWC by making its own belt."
Okay, so let's leave it there for a while. So the Cali Enigma has said today that he is regularly and frequently denied press credentials by the PBC. And we're going to be taking a look at that. We're going to be looking into that. The LDBC are being continually denied credentials by the PBC. The PBC, who the LDBC hold so dear. They hold them so dear, but yet they can't get no love in the form of press credentials from the PBC. How ironic it is that these fellows, these gentlemen of the LDBC are being treated in this manner. They reject the likes of Top Rank. They reject the likes of Matchroom. They hate and despise the Zone, and they're promoters of choice. Their only promoters of choice is the PBC, but yet they can't get no love from the PBC. Fred, who I talked about in the last show, Mr. Barbershop Conversations, no love. Blue Blood himself, no love. And Mr. Cali Enigma, my old buddy, no love from the PBC. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. How can you, as an organization, the LDBC, how can you hold a man by the name of Al Heyman? How can you hold him aloft? You hold him aloft. He is your Messiah. You talk of him as if he's your Messiah, but yet you get no love from Uncle Al. What the hell is going on? Jono, can you make any sense of this?
Well, it seems to me that I don't think it is the color of their skin that's getting them denied. I think it's because they're members of the LDBC. The LDBC have made it quite clear that they back Black American fighters.
Yep.
They're making it about race, and PBC don't want boxing to be made out as a racial sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. You know, they're complaining about this white woman who controls the credentials passes.
Kelly Swanson.
Kelly Swanson, blaming her for it because she's white. But guess who she answers to? Yeah,
she answers to a black man.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
she's the one who faces the media. He's never wanted to face media, never has, and never will.
Moves like a gangster. Moves like an old school gangster. Don't be seen. Don't be seen like the original gangsters. You only heard of them, but you never saw their face. There's a video of a cameraman going backstage in the changing rooms, and Mr. Al Heyman is talking to Floyd Mayweather, and they're happy. I think Floyd's just won a fight. I can't remember which one it was. And cameraman goes in there unannounced, and the look on Al Heyman's face, his face turned ashen. His face turned absolutely ashen. It's clear that he's a man who he seems to move by the old school gangster philosophy. Let them know your name, but they should never see you. They only hear your name. And for many years, we had not seen the guy. We never saw the guy. We just heard his name. But there are about 5 or 6 pictures out there of him, and only that. And we've seen him very seldom. Very seldom is he seen. Hardly ever is he seen. But everybody knows his name, Al Heyman. Why he moves like an old school gangster, exactly why he moves like that, why he has that ethos, that credo, that philosophy, I don't know. But clearly, it appears, it would not be, I don't think, ridiculous to surmise that he has some of those codes and philosophies somewhere along the line that was instilled in him. He's a Harvard graduate, so I think it would not be unreasonable to say that the guy we could surmise he's a highly intelligent fellow. But on the flip side of that, yeah, you can say that, but on the flip side of that, as most of you will know, he received a $500 million $500 million loan to support and grow the PBC. And reputedly, he blew much of that, the bulk of that, the vast majority of that within the first year. And ever since, it appears he's been playing catch up. Talk about PBC is that it's up for sale. Dana White is being mentioned as a man that could potentially come in and buy it out. But so whilst you can give a man credit for his academic achievements by going to Harvard, yeah, that's all well and good. That's all fine and dandy. But allegedly, the PBC are not in a fantastic place financially. Although they're doing okay, they are not in a fantastic place financially. The LDBC are keen proponents, supporters of the PBC, but it doesn't seem like it's a reciprocal relationship. The relationship does not seem to be reciprocal. And let's be clear, the PBC didn't call for support from the LDBC, Big Boys Boxing.
No, I think the PBC wants support from boxing fans. Full stop. It doesn't matter what color you are. And the LDBC have made it, like I say, clear they support the PBC because Al Heyman's black. They don't support the PBC because they think it's a fair organization or a good network. They support it because he's black.
Yeah.
And Al Heyman doesn't want to be supported because of the color of his skin, just like the LDBC don't want to be denied because of the color of their skin. Mm-hmm. So if race was left out of it, I think they'd find themselves with press credentials.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did see Fred talking about he was at an event and he was trying to take an interview from somebody, and Kelly Swanson saw him across a few seats away. And when she went and spoke to some other boxers and said to them, don't give him interviews. And Fred was upset about it. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't have press credentials and you're at an event, you're not allowed to video things, full stop. if you get caught doing that, they can take your device away from you.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you haven't got credentials, you have no right to get any interviews. It's nothing to do with the color of the skin. So that's just my point of view anyway.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Al Heyman did not request PBC's support. I would agree with you. I have to agree with you. What does it say? Yeah, good point, Steve-O. Al Heyman did not request PBC support in any way. They took it upon themselves for their reasons, and we know what their reasons are, to support PBC. And, you know, you'd have to say for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons. They support Al Heyman, a man who doesn't give them any time. He's never sat down with any of them. He's never invited them for lunch to talk, to discuss matters. Whereas you have a man like Eddie Hearn, who is very accessible. He's sat down with them. He's talked with them. But he's a hated one. He's the hated one. So I think that you have to say that the chickens have come home to roost when you're supporting someone who doesn't give you the damn time of day, but yet you're holding him aloft as your savior, as your messiah. Very, very foolish behavior on the part of the LDBC. And now they're eating it. And now they're feeling it. They're feeling the stupidity. They're feeling the bite of their ridiculous behavior. What am I going to do here? I want to hear some more. I want to hear some more of what my old buddy Cali Enigma has to say. Let me hear the pain. Let me cut this music. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Let's hear some more from the Cali. Let's hear some more from the Cali Enigma. Speak up, Cali.
They may do it. They talked about it before. A PA player said, Cali salute. He said, J. Cooley said, AA famous. He said, salute. Politics is Mexico. ESPN reporter destroyed Canelo. Oh, I got to see that, bro. And that code in Cali. Well, right now I'm in a room with bad. It's actually not comfortable. So, but outside 30s, sometimes it gets. So you go down like that, motherfucker. Everyone on my other channel for sure. Cornell Jones said, "What's good, Cali? What's happening, fam?" Tarfin says Steve Kim is 222% dumb, and he said, "Oh, they just contracted out to." They contract out to Kelly Swanson. They contract that when it comes to giving out media press credentials, they contract that responsibility out. They don't handle it themselves. They allow Magnum Media to do it. That she's the owner of that, or the one who's in control of that is Kelly Swanson. Now Kelly Swanson also has another press credentials outfit. It's called Swanson Communications. Is another former is another outlet of hers that she uses in order to give out press credentials and stuff. And of course, Kelly Swanson has stated in the past that no one cares about Black stories. So we all know about Kelly Swanson and her BS. Kelly, please write a letter direct.
Okay, so once again, the blame seems to be shifting to Kelly Swanson. Now, let us be clear. Kelly Swanson is an employee of the PBC. She worked for Floyd Mayweather Promotions for years. And so when Al Heyman took her on, he knew exactly what he was taking on. And he took her on for her qualities, for the qualities she displayed at Mayweather Promotions. So there was no ambiguity. There was no doubt about what he was taking on. So Kelly Swanson is doing what she was employed to do. Sort out the press, get the ones that they want in, and keep the ones that they don't want in, out. So to shift the blame to Kelly Swanson, to me, is completely and utterly ridiculous. If they have an issue, the issue is with Al Heyman, the big boss. That's where the orders come from. He is the one who is in charge. So this Kelly Swanson thing is merely a red herring. Because if she gets replaced, what's going to happen next? Who's going to come in next? It's going to be someone still following orders. So this Kelly Swanson thing versus the PBC is complete and utter nonsense to me. If they have an issue, the issue is with the big boss, Al Heyman. And I think they have to come to the realization that, there is no love there. No love there. Big Boys Boxing. I'll find your final words on this topic before we move on.
Yeah, the longer that the LDBC say they're getting denied press credentials because of their color, the further and further apart PBC are going to be from what they want them to do. So if they just start backing boxing and stop bringing up race, they may have a bit more luck of getting credentials.
100%. Okay, so that was the tale, the saga so far of the PBC versus the LDBC. And thank you to the Cali Enigma. Thank you to the Cali Enigma for offering up those words. John Dealey is in the building. How you doing, John?
Yeah, I'm good, Raphie. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You've been AWOL, John. What's going on?
I was in the chat on Monday.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, to be fair,
yeah,
I thought the people that you had in on Monday knew a lot more about what you were talking about than I do.
It was a nice mix. It's a mix and blend. Different people jump in, and that's all cool in the gang.
But I don't even listen to the PBC until you actually started talking about it. I didn't even know that Fred had been being blackballed. I didn't even know it had happened.
That's a good title, actually. I'm going to use the LDBC.
Been blackballed by a black man.
By a black man.
Unintended.
The LDBC have been blackballed by a black man. Oh dear. How unfortunate. That's funny.
They're not anything to do with boxing as far as I'm concerned.
No.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I struggle with is why they don't support Terence Crawford.
Mad. Well, I've got a madder one for you. No, that's the madder one. Well, I've got another mad. Well, no, stay on Terence Crawford. I'll come to my thing in a second. The Terence Crawford thing is crazy. It is totally crazy.
Because apart from anything else, he's probably the best American black fighter at the moment.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, I've still got him as much. Well, last time we went through pound for pound number one, I've still got him as number one. Yeah. Did he not unify? Well, he was undisputed, and he's gone up a weight class, and he's won a title. The only thing that's stopping him from fighting for other titles as a minimum is the PBC.
Yeah.
There'd be some that'd argue Bob Arum's got something to do with that too. He won't cross the street.
Well, he will with Tyson, won't he? So
yeah.
So I mean, they can come up with the argument, but he's about to do it in February with Tyson Fury, according to Bob.
Yeah.
Well, Bob Arum is the one who's been pushing for the fight, though, the Terence Crawford v. Spence fight.
I think if Bob thought he was going to lose, he might not push as hard.
No, he wouldn't push as hard.
I think Bob thought he'd beat Spence.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not sure we're going to see Spence back in action, to be honest.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen with that Spence. Why am I hearing myself? We don't know what's going to be happening with the Spence thing, but Big Boys Boxing, I think I'm coming through your mic. I can hear myself. So when no, it's all right. When I'm talking, I'll just mute you when I'm talking, because that seems to be the problem. Who's that? Have I done it? Have I done it or have I not? Why can't I do that? Okay, but anyway, yeah. So Spence v. Crawford. Spence. Yeah, I've got a video up, people. If you have not seen my Spence video, check it out after the show or at your leisure. It's the first picture of Spence since the accident, since coming out of hospital. Yeah, first picture. I think that's flown under the radar a little bit. Other people haven't seemed to notice it. So I think it's the only video featuring Spence.
There's another one out there, Raphie, that I've watched.
Is there? Is there?
Yeah, and it's a bit of an obscure channel.
Okay.
He was pointing out, you think Spence's hand's shot?
Yeah, somebody mentioned his hand, but somebody else in the video that I uploaded. John, I can hear myself through your thing, I think. I'm hearing myself through your thing. Big Boys Boxing is back. Yeah, so I think what people mentioned in my video was that somebody mentioned his hand, but somebody else pointed out that he's got a tattoo on the hand because the hand looked funny. The hand looked marked up. But somebody mentioned that maybe he's got a tattoo on the hand. I'd never noticed a tattoo on his hand. I don't know if he's definitely got a tattoo on his hand, but it's been mentioned in my video of the first picture of Spence. Spence? Yeah. Errol Spence out of hospital. And the first picture of him since he's come out of hospital. It's been mentioned about his hand, but people saying his hand looks funny. But other people have mentioned that he's got a tattoo on his hand. So that's what they're seeing when they're seeing the markings on the hand.
It wasn't just the markings they were pointing out. They were basically saying he looks like he can't close his fist. Yeah. Like it's taking some damage. I mean, that might heal.
Yeah. I mean, and that could be the case, but also, I mean, they say every picture tells a story, but at the same time, it's not a video, so they haven't actually seen him try to close his hand. You know what I'm saying? It's just a still picture.
It's all conjecture at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's injured, boxers break their hands regularly, don't they? So,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to read too much into that. If it was something to do with his motor neurons, then it's a problem.
Yeah, then it's a problem. Or if, I know someone who got into a car accident and they kind of shifted their shoulder, so their shoulder was kind of compressed in. If it was something like that, then, if you could visibly see that somebody's mechanical structure, physical structure had shifted somehow, then that'll be one thing. But at the moment, all I can see in the picture is that he's put on a few pounds, which is to be expected if you're, an athlete and you've been incapacitated. That's normal. We won't really know until we see him moving what his condition looks like. But yeah, we can expect there to be some damage. You're not going to go through a situation like that without damage.
I mean, I would hope he makes full recovery, but as you know, I've been doubtful of that.
Yeah.
From the day the accident was announced.
From day one, yeah. You was the first person I heard say that you're not expecting him back in the ring ever.
No, I mean, I'll be happy if I'm proved wrong. I'm not hoping for it.
No.
I just think it's he's lucky he's walking.
He's lucky he's alive.
Yeah, like the whole so he is winning whatever happens.
Yeah,
but boxing is such a traumatic sport on the body. That's why I've got my doubts. But
yeah, it's reasonable to have those doubts. It's reasonable to have those doubts. It's logical to have those doubts. I mean, the guy is lucky to be alive. Big boys boxing.
Yeah, I think if Spencer's going to be back, it's probably not going to be till like 2021. But like you say, a horrific crash like that, there's going to be some long-term effects, surely. I mean,
yeah.
I had a crash when I was in my 20s. I cut a cow on half of the motorbike and I went flying. I ended up with no real broken bones, but I broke a little bone called a scaphoid, which is between your forefinger and your thumb where they join in your hand. Yeah. And I can't close my fist to punch properly anymore.
Wow.
Something small like that could keep him out of the ring for good. And that could explain something about, the theory that he can't close his fist properly.
Yeah.
But, no broken bones doesn't mean that there's some kind of brain damage or internal damage or, there's a lot of things that could be wrong.
Yeah.
Saying no broken bones doesn't mean a lot, really. It just means no broken limbs, really.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I hope he does make a full comeback and we get to see him in the fights that we want to see him in. But yeah, all we can do is hope.
All we can do is hope, and time will tell. So John Dealey, you weren't here for the Cali Enigma talk. Before we move on, you got any observations on that Cali Enigma?
To be honest, Raphael, I didn't get in from gymnastics until quite a bit, so I've missed it anyway.
Oh, you've missed it anyway. Okay, no problem.
And like I said, PBC, that they're somewhere else.
Yeah,
outside of my realm of knowledge.
Yeah. outside of the realm. Oh gosh. Okay, so that's good. Just to recap for anybody who has just joined us, Cali Enigma put out the video where, amongst other things, he said that he hasn't been able to get a press pass for a PBC show for some considerable time. Blue blood is also in the same box, the same category. And yet these guys, they're singing the praises of the PBC to the high heavens. So what a contradiction.
I think Beeb's point was the most valid, though, that he made on Monday about these guys. They're not journalists.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, they're not journalists. Whatever anybody thinks about the Boxing Voice and Ness, Ness is a journalist.
Yeah,
he might be a biased, skewed viewpoint, but I'm biased. As
biased.
You regularly say, Raphie, everyone has a bias. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And Ness does actually ask some decent questions when he gets the opportunity. So
he does.
I don't really listen to TBV because it irritates me. But his interviews are often quite good.
His interviews are very good. And I think that part of his, I'll give him credit where credit's due. Part of his bias, I think he sometimes overplays. He overplays his bias to get a bite and a reaction from the baying crowd. He got a reaction out of me. He got so much of a reaction out of me that he bited me on the show. So a reaction out to me. But when it comes down to the actual interviews themselves, then he's very good at going in, asking the pertinent questions. And so, yeah, I'll give him credit for that. No question about it. But on the flip side of that, I think you're alluding to, the flip side of that is that these guys, they're not biased to get a bite. They just truly take it to their very heart and to their very core. And when they do get an interview, unlike somebody like Mr. Nescafe, when they do get an interview, they maintain their bias, if not amplify it. And so they don't appear to understand the basic tenets of journalism. So they don't try to even maintain or put out any illusion of neutrality in any sense of the word. And I think that's where they kick themselves in the butt, as our Americans would say. They kick themselves in the butt by doing that. Okay, so anybody else want to say anything on that before we move on?
I'll just put a little perspective on some of that. Yeah, Ness does show some bias at times, and when he does, a lot of it, like you say, is to get a bite, but not only from the person that he's interviewing, it's catering to his audience. The LDBC do the same, but their audience is persistently going on and on and on in a boxing forum about black rights, and it can be off-putting to a lot of people. So another way of putting it is, if Mr. Boxing Today went and applied for a PBC media credentials, I bet you he would get it, because he doesn't go on about race and boxing every single goddamn video, you know?
That's true.
Whereas the LDBC, that's what they do. It's not, you know, boxing almost takes a second seat to what they're trying to put across to the audience. So,
I think that's the key pertinent point. The boxing takes a second seat, a back seat to their agenda, their chosen agenda. And let's not get it twisted. There are race issues over in America, in the UK. Yes, I don't think anybody's denying that. However, when you put that before the sport, when you put that in front of the sport, then that's problematic. That's problematic. Yeah. There's nothing.
It's premier boxing champions, not premier black champions, isn't it?
Yeah, it's putting the very real racial issues faced in many countries. It's putting that, well, they're in America, so they deal with America. It's putting that before everything else. And to be fair, if you want to do that, then you could have a channel for that purpose. But
exactly.
I don't.
There's platforms, times, and places.
Yeah. So
that's kind of why I don't listen to the LDBC, because I just see them as a black civil rights movement, which, from that, if you look at them like that, then it's actually okay, because I think there are issues that need dealing with in America.
Yes.
So I actually don't have any animosity towards them, because I just think they're separate from boxing. That's how I look at them.
Yeah, I think the issue, I think what we're saying, if I could try and summarize, is that there's no problem. There's nothing wrong with trying to strive for equal rights. But when you put that, when you have a boxing channel and you put that first in front of the boxing, and then you intermesh that with every single aspect of boxing, then that's where the problem lies.
It's no worse than door knockers who are pushing religion, coming and knocking at your door. You know, they're trying to push it in a place where it's supposed to be for boxing, not for other issues.
Yeah,
and like you say, there's nothing wrong with pushing the point about racial issues, but do it in the correct format.
Yeah,
forum.
Forum, the correct forum or platform. So that's the problem. That's the problem. They're doing it on the wrong format platform. They're doing it on the wrong platform. And that's what the problem is. They're what they're doing is not necessarily wrong, but it's they're using the wrong platform. Very pure and simple. So PBC, you know, I'm your friend Raphie. Cali Enigma, I know your people are going to tell you about this little chit chat that I had My doors, the doors to the channel is always open to you to come and debate intelligently, speak intelligently, rationally. We can have the discussion, because what you've done is, here we go. I've just gone in. I found another window. Cali. What you've done is you've marginalized yourself, your group. You have marginalized yourself. You have alienated yourself. And I think Beeb put it very well, like John Daly just said. Beeb summed it up very well on Monday. He said, you're a cult. You are a cult. And one characteristic, there are many characteristics of a cult, but one characteristic of a cult is that you are very insular. You are very insular. You want to keep everything closed doors, indoor, closed doors. You know, you want to lock people out. And one of the reasons a cult does that is because they don't want to see they don't want their cult members to be enlightened by other minds. They want to keep everything closed. You want to keep it closed off. But you know, Cali, you, BFTB, you too. I know you're a crazy little pup. You're a crazy little yapping little yapping dog, BFTB. You're a yapper. But you know,
BFTB claims to be your size, Raphie. I'm not convinced.
He says he's 6'2", which is still shorter than me.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought he was the same height as Frank, Big Frank.
I got a picture of me and Big Frank, and I'm taller than Big Frank.
Oh
yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm taller than Big Frank. So BFTV still got a little bit of growing to do. BFTB. I can kind of believe it. I don't believe it. I can't, but I believe that he might be taller than he looks, because he's a skinny little fella. And
it's
so
a 200-pound claim that I struggle with.
200 pounds.
I think he's claimed to be 200 pounds.
I was in a video, maybe, I don't know, in between 6 months and 12 months ago. Could be on the 12-month mark. It's either 6 months or 12 months ago, and it was about F.A. Jagba. I don't know what channel it was on. It was very random. I just clicked on, and I saw BFTB. I've never seen it before. BFTB in the comment section. And he chuckled, and he said, "This guy's twice my size."
Okay.
I don't know.
The thing is, BFT, there was some, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Feminine and Angry Dwarf.
Yeah.
he was having a beef with someone.
Yeah.
And we were talking about taking it into the street.
Yeah.
He was trying to scare them with his physical presence.
Yeah. I've heard him say he was 6'2". I've heard him say it. But on the flip side of that, I've been in a video. I was in a video, and I saw him comment that I am half his size. Now, I've heard him say the 6'2" thing. I've heard him say the half his size thing. Today is more equal than ever. It appears the LDBC can't let go of the past. Yeah, Buzz Lightyear, it's not equal. From my experiences, it ain't equal. I think there's inequalities in the job market. I think there's very clear inequalities in the job market. If you were here on Monday, I'm not going to go over it again, but if you want to go and check the Monday show, I gave you some very clear examples of the inequality in the job market. I don't think people get equally employed. I think it's harder. I think it's harder in my experience. It's harder when you just look around. You look around at the bank, at the chemist. Just look around at the ratios. The ratios are all off. I think
Parliament, Raphie.
Sorry.
Look at Parliament in the UK.
Look at Parliament.
No, it's not representative, so no, it's not equal.
It's not equal. It's not There's not equal There's not appropriate representation. I don't think the best person, the best man or the woman always gets the job. I think race is still an issue in the job market. You just take a look around, go to Tesco's, go to Morrison's, go wherever, any establishment. And oftentimes you see an underrepresentation, and then people say, well, maybe nobody applied. Highly unlikely.
That's just not the case.
It's not the case. It's clearly not the case. Yeah. So it's not equal. It's not
I,
equal.
I think it's worse in America. I think that's all.
Worse,
it can say.
definitely. I think it's worse in America.
I mean,
Some places in America. Some places in America. Most of America.
Well, my view that I put in the chat on Monday was I was considering relocating to America just around the time that a lot of black men got shot going about their daily business by the police. And that's what put me off going. Because I couldn't put my son in a situation where he could be subjected to that when he starts driving a car.
I think you have to let people know that you have mixed race children.
Yeah. So that's, I just couldn't, in good conscience, even contemplate allowing that to be the case.
America is not equal. I know a story, first-hand story. Well, one of those door knockers that Big Boys Boxing was talking about. I actually let him in. It turned out this was probably about 15 years ago. And to this day, we became friends. And then it turns out that I know his son, well, actually his stepson, his wife's son. He's the stepfather. Probably 15 years ago, maybe more. We just hit it off. He's just a lovely fella, older fella, elderly fella. And he's just got so much life in him. I admire him, basically. Jehovah's Witness fella, but he knows I'm not going to go to his church and whatnot, but we just enjoy it because I was raised in the church and I have some knowledge of biblical matters. And so we just invite him in. Come on in. We'd sit down and we'd talk biblical matters, which I enjoy. It's probably at least 15 years ago, maybe 20. Maintained a friendship. Very, very lovely fella, lovely family, lovely wife. His son, I know. He's a nephew of his. This is America. A nephew of his lived in America, I think immigrated to America or was raised there, something like that. He's from the small islands. He's from the Caribbean originally. Or is it St. Kitts? St. Kitts, one of the small islands in the Caribbean. And I think that, a lot of people from the Caribbean immigrate to different parts of the world. The UK was a big one. Canada was a big one. America was a big one. Destinations. And so anyway, from St. Kitts, his nephew went to America. This fella that I'm talking about, who I see, I call him Big Pitt, because back in the day in his youth, well, he's still a tall man, but he was, his surname is Pitt, and he was a big fella. He played cricket, and that was his nickname, Big Pitt. So anyway, bigness runs in his bloodline. So the guy we're talking about over in America, who immigrated to America, he was a hell of a specimen in terms of size and athletic prowess. And he opened a gym, and very large fellow, apparently. Never seen a picture of him, but Big Pitt was telling me about him. So opened a gym, was very successful over there. Biblical fella, to the gym, and home to his wife and kids, and then to church. Just a clean living guy. So anyway, he's driving his sports car. He's a gym owner. He's driving his sports car somewhere in America. For some strange reason, they thought he was somebody else. They put the sirens on behind him. He's wondering what the hell's going on. Pulls over, eventually pulls over in some kind of supermarket, car park or whatever. Gets out of the car, one bullet in the heart, dead. That's America. That is America. It's fucked up.
You see, I think that could happen to you in the UK if you're a black man driving a sports car, but the police officer's not carrying a gun.
They don't have guns.
That's the difference.
They just tase you instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different level.
It's a different level over there.
To you.
Different level over there. And so we this was about the equality thing. Maybe it's my environment. Maybe it's the environment of work at my work. I see your point. Yeah. we go through life and we see things, but there are always levels and layers of things that we don't see. There's levels and layers. I mean, I think that I'm quite a perceptive person, but every day I get more perceptive. There are things I never registered a year ago or 5 years ago that I register now. There are things I never registered a year ago that I register now. The things that I didn't see that were in plain sight that I register now. As we get older, as we get wiser, we see different levels. We see different levels. There's certain things that I see now that constantly amaze me. How did I not notice that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? You know, that's a regular feature. How did I not understand this angle a year ago? How did I have no concept of this angle 10 years ago? It's not necessarily just the big things. It's the little things. It's small things. It's minute things. Things which I never had any inkling of. Factors I had never any inkling of. And I consider myself to be, you know, not a foolish man. So, yeah, America is just a different level of crazy. So equality, absolutely not. No way, no how. For the LDBC to try to get equality, I'm all for that, but they're doing it on the wrong platform. You know, they need the LDBC need to become a political body for change. And fine, that's 100% cool. That's fine. Even then, they're probably a bit too slanted, but still, that if that's what they want to do, then fine, do that. But you're using the wrong platforms, gentlemen. You're using the wrong platform for your message. Yeah. And I think that's my view on that. Anybody got anything else to say about that before we move on?
Enough politics in boxing. We don't need extras. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Enough politics in boxing already. You're just adding an extra layer to the madness. Okay. But that said, we move on to the next topic. The PBC, and I haven't researched this, so I hope I'm not talking out of school, but I've seen it in a lot of places. But the PBC, let me pull it up as I'm speaking. Let me close that. What? I think we're good there. I think I can use that way. I think I can close that. Okay, so the PBC have their own belt. As a matter of fact, I've seen it in some reputable places. Seen a messaging board I'm involved with. Yeah, so it's reputable. I'm pretty sure. Hold on a second. No, it's a fact. I'm pretty sure it's a fact because I realize some of the messages that I've received on it and who they're from. So yeah, I think it's pretty much a fact. So I'm going to type it in just to make sure I'm not talking out to school. The PBC. I think Deontay Wilder. Let me type that in. Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is fighting for the PBC belt as well as the WBC belt. Deontay Wilder fighting for the PBC belt. Deontay Wilder, heavyweight fight.
I've got a link for a Reddit article on it. I'll drop in the private chat if you like, Raphie.
Yeah, please, if you would, the link.
Actually, I'll send it through Hangouts.
Yeah, Hangout is good. Where are we? Okay, so the PBC are forming their own belt. They're coming up with their own belt, the PBC belt. And so fighters on PBC, the PBC, and this is quite bizarre, really. It's quite bizarre because fighters on the PBC, they're not just going to be fighting PBC fighters. So I would imagine there's a possibility that a non-PBC fighter could have the PBC belt. But then if the PBC are so in-house, okay, let me open that.
Raphie, I've seen a few things on it. I don't think anybody really knows yet. But they're talking about you having to sign for the PBC to fight for the PBC belt.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense.
One of the guys from the PBC, I can't remember his name, has claimed that the PBC have 90% of the talent in boxing.
90% of the talent in boxing.
Yeah, I think someone needs to explain to this particular gentleman that there is more than just a welterweight division.
Yeah,
yeah, because they're very far from having 90% of the talent in boxing.
Yeah.
So I've heard that Luis Ortiz and Wilder are fighting for the PBC belt, and I've heard they're not ready to do it yet. So I'm not sure if it's on the line on Saturday.
Okay.
Mike Coppinger's reporting that it is on the line.
Is it?
It's already been promised.
Coppinger's reliable for PBC information, isn't he? So
Usually pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, if Coppinger's got it, I expect that's completely the case. The thing is, if Ruiz loses against Joshua, how are they going to continue a PBC heavyweight champion and just ignore a 3-belt holder outside of their remit?
Also, how legit is the belt if they're not having the number 1 and 2 fight for a vacant belt? For me, Andy Ruiz is definitely number 2.
Yeah.
Well, surely he's number 1 in the PBC at the moment. I don't really know how they're working that at all.
Unified champ. He's unified champ.
Yeah, well, he's got to be at least number 2, and if not number 1.
Yeah.
He's the only world champion in the heavyweight division in the PBC who oh no, he isn't. No. Well, they did actually beat a reigning champion in Bermain Stavern.
Yeah.
Stavern was actually a reigning champion.
Yeah, he got it from
He fought for the vacant belt against Ariola in the fight before, but still.
Yeah.
Technically,
yeah.
It wasn't a vacant belt, was it? So he did beat a reigning champion.
Yeah, he did beat a reigning champion. So the PBC are basically forming their own belt. I think we know that. I'm saying that because I've seen it in multiple sources.
One of the guys who works at PBC has been out talking about it on a sports show in America.
Mm-hmm.
Is it someone off Fox who's actually talking about it? Fox are pushing this, I think.
Fox, are they pushing it?
Yeah, I think Fox think that they can do a UFC of boxing with the PBC, basically. Yeah.
I think I just received some disturbing news from Buzz Lightyear. He said, honestly, you would make a great leader for the LDBC. Buzz Lightyear. That's a very disturbing statement, sir. He says,
you'd fail the test, Raphie. You allow people to have a view different from yours.
I'll be all right. He hasn't opened his bottle of horny goat weed yet.
I'm confident. It's sealed. I think, but
you're allowed to disagree with Raphie on his show. That's definitely not the PBC.
That's not the PBC way. That is not the PBC way. I'll get booted. They vote me out. Buzz Lightyear goes on to add, keep them in line. I mean, I'd be chairman. I'd chair the meetings for them, and we'd have to have some policy changes. It would be some serious policy changes. Discussion would be allowed. Opinions would be allowed. The major difference is that opinions would be allowed.
Raphie, there's a bit. I heard somebody relaying a rant from the actual official leader of the PBC.
Damn.
I don't know his name. I don't know enough about it.
I know his name, but I forgot it. 78? Is it 78? I don't know.
Possibly. The main rant seems to be about them all bitching about each other.
Uh-oh.
And that he's sick and tired of having to mediate.
Uh-oh.
And he's basically telling them all, if you've got a problem with one, tell him to his face and shut up.
Yeah.
I don't think you want that job, Raphael.
No. They could come over. They could ask me to start a new organization for them. That was a lot more based on logic. So if they want me to chair, if they want to start a new organization based on logic and intellect rather than just some color line, then I'll help them. I will help them apply logic. I'll help them apply logic to their structure, the thing. logic and use a different platform for their views.
The leader was comparing the LDBC to the Black Panthers and to the Nation of Islam as well. So I don't think he sees it as a boxing-related platform, to be honest.
Well, there you go. I mean, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. It's that's got nothing to do with boxing. The Black Panthers existed. I mean, obviously, boxing has existed for what hundreds, if not thousands, of years in one form or another. People have been punching them. Guys have been punching other guys in the face for since time began, I would imagine, and that's many thousands of years ago. Structured boxing, as we know it, definitely at least hundreds of years ago. Bare knuckle, a lot of it was bare knuckle, but then I'm sure throughout history people have wrapped their hands. So boxing in one form or another has, I'm sure, been in existence for at least 1,000 years. I would think at least 1,000 years in one form or another.
Easily that. It was in the original Greek Olympics.
There you go. Boom.
They used to fight to the death.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So yeah, we've got a bit more civilized, I like to think, perhaps, maybe. Sometimes I don't think so, but yeah, as for the Pbc belt, now here's the thing with the Pbc belt. How is that any more legitimate than, well, what's to stop top rank having a belt? What's to stop Eddie Hearn having the belt, the Matchroom belt? What's to stop the Zone having the Zone belt? What's to stop Frank Warren having the Frank Warren belt? How is the Pbc any more legitimate than any of the ones I've just mentioned, the potential?
It's not. Simple as that.
The Fox executive who's pushing it seems to think that they've got a monopoly on the talent. I think Fox is so unaware of actually the situation of the talent that the Pbc actually has signed to them.
Yeah.
That I think Fox are going to potentially try and go down this rabbit hole completely unprepared for the reality of current boxing.
Well, somebody needs to wake them up over there because the talent pool ain't deep enough, my friend, over there.
No one's got a talent pool deep enough, have they?
Oh, there you go. There you go. But I mean, it's so fragmented now that it's so fragmented that that talent pool isn't deep enough. I mean, the counter argument is, well, they can go ahead and do it anyway. Yeah, I accept they can go ahead and do it anyway. But what I'm saying then ultimately is that when we're looking at the depth of talent, it's just not there. How is that any more legitimate? How would the Pbc belt be any more legitimate than a Matchroom belt, than a Top Rank belt, than a DAZN belt, than a Frank Warren belt? Have I missed one? I think that was the main players. How would the Pbc belt be any more legitimate?
It's about as legitimate as a Mick Hennessy belt.
Yeah, the Mick Hennessy belt. Why not have the Mick Hennessy belt as well? Who'd win that one? That would be Huey Fury's belt. Yeah, fight for Huey Fury's belt. It's just to me, there's just not enough depth over there to make it legitimate. That's the first thing. And then what we're looking at, what? Pbc, DAZN, Matchroom, Frank Warren. Those are at least four more. If each of the large promoters follow suit, that's four more belts on top of the four major belts we have now. Have you got four? WBA, the WBO, IBF, WBC. Yeah, there's four major belts now. If each of the four major promoters opt to follow the Pbc route, which we think they're going down and creating their own belt, that's 8 belts. That's 8 belts.
Well, I don't think Hearn would do it.
No,
I don't think Aaron would do it. Frank Warren hasn't got a stable to even consider it.
He just anoint the belt. He'd get one fighter would be anointed the belt, and there you go. That's it.
I know he'd get it. I mean, his best fighter is a good fighter, in my opinion, at the moment, Daniel.
Oh yeah.
But I think Frank's eggs are getting very much in that one basket at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson's more or less got nothing to do with him anymore, really.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he hasn't got any big names in any of the weight classes, has he? Who's he got?
Well, I mean, really and truly, we're just speaking from in terms of showing how ridiculous it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of highlighting how ridiculous the concept is.
Well, I'm kind of looking at it the other way.
Yeah.
If the PBC try and do this,
Yeah.
it could very much be the end of the PBC, which the way that they're unwilling to work with others would be a very good thing. They're the biggest block to getting undisputed fights.
Yep.
Probably because this is the route they want to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go down it and fail miserably,
then it conversely helps.
It helps boxing, yeah. In my opinion. So hopefully they do it, they fail, and they disappear.
What a dastardly plan. What a dastardly plan. We must offer them our support, Big Boys Boxing.
Yeah, well, I've seen reports that apparently the WBC are going to recognize the PBC belt.
Heard.
But the trouble's going to be the other governing bodies that are legitimate. I mean, the most respected other two would be the WBA and the IBF. I can't see them recognizing it, but most definitely the WBO will not recognize it, full stop, due to the PBC already boycotting them. So
I think there's two big massive holes in that idea that the WBC are going to recognize the PBC belt. Their two franchise champions do not box on PBC.
I didn't think of that one.
What was the first part of what you said there, John? I missed the first part. What was the first part? What did you say?
The two WBC franchise champions do not box on the PBC. Loma's an Aram fighter, and Canelo is Golden Boy DAZN.
So how does that impact the WBC? What did you say?
Well,
about
their two biggest fighters, their franchise champions, are not part of the PBC. So if the PBC is going to legitimize, the WBC is going to legitimize the PBC belt. Yeah, the two biggest WBC stars are not on that platform and never will be.
So it doesn't really matter to them. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just going to be interested because I've heard this sort of theory that the WBC are going to add legitimacy to the PBC belt.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah,
I've heard it as well, but where from? Because the sources I've heard have just been YouTube. There haven't been anything credible. Big Boys, have you heard it from a good source? Or?
No, just that Coppinger report. I heard yesterday. I can't find the actual article.
Because until Suleiman actually comes out and says it, I'm not having what Coppinger says. Coppinger's good for what the PBC is doing, but I don't trust him for what Mauricio's thinking.
Yeah,
I'm looking for the article where I saw. Yeah, carry on, Big Boys.
All in all, though, I think the PBC belt is just going to end up another one like the IBO at very best. I can see the theory behind what they're trying to do. Make it like the UFC, have a monopoly, have one belt, one champion, one name for each division. Yeah. But you can't ignore the hundreds of years of history, or at least 100 years of history behind the other governing bodies that have been around for a long time. That wasn't there for the UFC prior to them monopolizing the UFC. So, you know, it's not the history of the two older belts, the WBC and the WBA, isn't just going to disappear because a new belt's being made. And as many fans have said, you know, there's already too many belts. We don't want any. We want some of the, you know, the regular champion belts, the franchise champion belts. We want all of them gone. So it's not so hard to achieve that legacy of undisputed champion. But if there's going to be a PBC belt as well, you might as well allow the IBO in as well. And like you say, other promoters could start their own belts as well. We're going to need 8 belts to become undisputed. GTOF, man.
Yeah, it's mad. The PBC, I'm going to get to you guys in the chat in a second. Don't worry. Don't fear. Don't fret. Yeah, so the PBC belt would be a nightmare. It would be just another layer of bullish. Just another layer of bull, unnecessary bullish. PBC Belt, they can start it if they want it. It's just another layer of bullish. It's just another layer of bullish. Phil Walker in the building. How you doing, Phil? Give Phil a chance to settle in. Phil is on mute. Okay, so yeah, PBC Belt. I really don't care for it at all. It's got no place in boxing. Just echoing what everybody has already said. What I've said. It's just no place in boxing for it. It has not been fully. It's not. We don't have an official statement from the PBC saying, yeah, we're going for it. We're going for it. We're gonna have our own belt. We don't have any official statement from them. So until such time, we're just gonna have to put this one on the back cooker. We're gonna have to put that back on the back cooker, and see how that develops. Phil Walker, how you doing, Phil? You're on mute at the moment, Phil. Okay, maybe he's predisposed. Okay, let's go back to. Are you going to? Let's go back to. Let me have a look at this message. You didn't ask the franchise. Everyone's talk. Okay, yeah, I'm going to touch on that. That's a good point. I'm going to touch on that one. But first and foremost, okay. So where are we? Where am I going to start in this chat? Okay, Aaron Mason. Used to be much more than that. Okay, Aaron Mason. Aaron Mason's been away for a while. Aaron Mason, let me tell you. Phil Walker, how you doing? You hear me, Phil? Phil Walker. Phil, yeah, I can see you, but I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Okay, you're on mute. Join us when you're ready, Phil. Okay, so to address Aaron Mason with the numbers in the chat. Aaron Mason, what happened is that when you have a channel, there's a guru, there's a YouTube guru that I listen to, and he says one of his words of advice is don't be overly focused on the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Don't do things purely focused on the numbers. Because to make any sense of the numbers, sometimes the numbers don't make sense. So, and to try and make any sense of the numbers, you'd have to do it at least 1 year in. So 1 year from now, I can go and look at the numbers. I can go and check the analytics and say, okay, so how does this figure on this day compare to the figure last year? Okay, so I'm not really overly focused on the numbers. The focus has to be the quality. So what I'm focused on is the quality. First and foremost, if you produce quality goods, then people who appreciate quality will always come for it. Okay, so I'm addressing Aaron Mason. Aaron Mason was with the channel from the beginning, and he's doing a university degree, a master's now, so he has to be focused on that, and he hasn't been around because he's been focused on what he needs to be focused on. And furthermore, I'll go deeper on the numbers. There are certain people, because remember, I came to this fresh. There are certain people who have their own little setup, their own little channel, and their own followers. So there are certain people who were here initially in the beginning. I shall mention no names, and they have their groupies. And when that individual and then other individuals of that ilk would come here, they would bring their groupies. So that's another reason. And once those types had been banished, once those types had been banished from the kingdom, their groupies went wherever they go. Yeah. So the initial numbers contained a number of groupies. Now I'm more experienced. Now I'm more experienced. I know who the groupies are. That's a good one. That's a good one. And now I know who the groupies are. So yeah. So the original numbers were inflated by groupies. Damn, I just got a lot of new people in here I hadn't seen. Shola Ibofin in the building. So, you know, that's another factor. And then also another factor when it comes to numbers. Another factor when it comes to numbers are I see you, Phil Walker. Another factor when it comes to numbers is yeah, man, good. Another factor when it comes to the numbers are when I initially started this thing, remember, I had just left the boxing voice. I just left the boxing voice. So there's an initial wave. There is an initial wave of people who come with you and who jump in. But you have to understand and realize, as I do, that a lot of those people are just came for the drama. They saw me and heard me on the boxing voice and thought it was just going to be all about some drama and madness. The only reason it was about drama and madness on the boxing voice is because there was a lot of madness there. But I never intended this channel to be all about drama and madness. You know, it's ultimately about boxing. Yeah, we like a little bit of madness, a little bit of craziness from time to time, but ultimately the thing is about boxing. Yeah. So once there are people, you have a set of people who just go around from place to place. They're drama hunters. They're ambulance chasers. You know, some people who like to have ambulance chase. They see a fire truck and they chase behind the fire truck. So they're not actually about boxing. So the people who don't come anymore, the people who inflated the numbers initially, thank you for inflating my numbers initially, they are not actually about boxing. So what you're left with, you know, you have a product and you distill it, you shake it and you distill it, and then what you're left with is the pure core. Okay, so the ambulance chasers, the fire brigade, the fire truck chasers, they've gone. They have disappeared, and that's good. So all that you're left with here is just the purer. It's a purer ingredient. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're left with. So that's in answer to your question. So yeah, it's a purer thing. Phil Walker, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, man, it's all
I'm
good.
doing all right, man. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, man, it's all good in the hood, man. It's all good in the hood. Have you been listening to the show? Was there something you want to jump in on in particular?
Oh yeah, I've been listening to the show, man. I just wanted to chime in. I know you probably be getting off pretty soon here.
Yeah, we got a little bit more time. We got another half an hour.
Yeah, you know, man, about this thing about the PBC belt. I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors or some people just trying to play a practical joke or something like that. But at the end of the day, if it does come out and they do confirm this, you know, as I said earlier, my question would be why? You understand what I'm saying? It'll be absolutely why. Why come out with your own belt? Like, I mean, I don't understand the logic or focus behind that. This doesn't make any sense to me, you know. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's just crazy to me. So,
Yeah.
but you know, I really honestly think that it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors, man. I don't think it's true at all. But what I will say is, man, if it is 100% a fact that these purses for the AJ and Ruiz fight is legitimate, man, that's bananas, man. That's setting all kind of different presidents, man.
Yeah, well, let's go on to that because that's on the topic sheet. Let's go on to that right now. So, Anthony Joshua, let me go into. Oh, there it is. Let me share that. Let me share that so everybody can see. Let me share that. Screen share. Boom. Boom. Where is it? Is that it? Nope. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, so you're going to see it in a few seconds. So the purses have been revealed for Joshua Ruiz 2. Andy Ruiz, 13 million. Anthony Joshua, 85 million. Now, I hasten to add, this has not come directly from the zone. This has not come directly from, well, it's Matchroom. It's a Matchroom thing. This has not come directly from Matchroom. This has not come directly from Anthony Joshua. But apparently Andy Fowler has some affiliation.
Is it Anthony Fowler, the boxer? He's a Matchroom fighter, and they're really still pushing, aren't they?
Yeah, he's got a connection with Matchroom, and it's come from Anthony Fowler. Sorry, I said Andy Fowler is Anthony. Anthony Fowler, a Matchroom boxer, and it's come from Anthony Fowler, Matchroom boxer. Andy Ruiz, 13 million. Anthony Joshua, 85 million. I dropped the video this morning. There was a little bit of resistance from one of my subs on this. I said it's a load of poppycock. And to be fair, in that chat that we're involved with Phil, the first time somebody posted this up, we both thought, what a load of rubbish. We say rubbish over here, you say garbage over there. Over here, you say rubbish. What a load of rubbish. That's what we thought. And then, it started coming through from different sources, and then it ultimately came through from Anthony Fowler, who is a Matchroom boxer. Isn't he a bit of a pundit as well? Doesn't he work for Sky?
They've been trying to push him because he was in the Olympics. But he lost to Fitzgerald, and they're still pushing him. He's on the Callum Smith undercard this weekend.
Yeah. So Fowler, and I think he's done a bit of commentary work for Sky, has he not?
They're definitely invested in him. I haven't heard one there. It doesn't mean to say he hasn't been.
Yeah, I've seen him around.
I'm off when I'm watching boxing.
Yeah, I've seen him around. So yeah, he might be a bit of an insider with this thing. Obviously, he's a Matchroom employee, so he's not going to go posting up pure nonsense. One would have thought, and so there appears to be some legitimacy to this. Like I said, one of my subs had a bit of a hard time with the figure. And he said, well, what's that all that about? Where's all that money coming from? But I said from the beginning that Ruiz played into Eddie Hearn's hands. I said from the beginning that Eddie Hearn capitulated when Ruiz said he's not going to fight in the UK. He capitulated a little bit too easy. I found it hard to believe. I was wondering why Eddie Hearn had capitulated so easily. And then when he said Saudi Arabia, it all made sense to me. I put the pieces together very, very quickly. They had been approached by Saudi Arabia and with a big offer. And so when Andy Ruiz says, I ain't coming to UK, I ain't fighting in the UK, Eddie Hearn just went, okay, no problem. We want Andy Ruiz to feel comfortable. If he doesn't feel comfortable in the UK, we're going to Saudi Arabia. And the reason he capitulated, my hypothesis is this. The reason Eddie Hearn capitulated so quickly is because he had a big offer on the table. I'm going to Phil Walker first because he's just come in. Phil Walker.
All right, man. Look, let me tell you something. If this right here is true, let me tell you something, man. This is unprecedented right now at the moment. But I will say this right here. Saudi Arabia has been trying to get a big fight for quite some time now. You understand what I'm saying? And I think they recognize the potential in this bout right here, considering that AJ got upset last fight. Andy Ruiz is constantly gaining supporters, and at the end of the day, essentially everybody gets what they want, right? So Saudi Arabia gets their big fight. AJ gets the biggest payday he's ever had.
Yeah.
The largest payday that any heavyweight has ever had, if these numbers are true.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Ruiz gets a bump in his initial offer, so he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a win-win-win. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't see an issue in this right here. But my whole deal is this right here. I've always been taught this, right? And my father taught me this a long time ago. Never worry about what the next man get. Just get what you think you need to be getting. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So all the nonsense, all the rubbish coming from different places about they don't believe these numbers. You know, look, let me tell you something. I hope the number is true. I do. I hope it's true. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, hey, look, this is awesome that somebody can come in and make this kind of money boxing. Because you know how it works. Once that door is open, it leaves opportunity for people to fall behind you and potentially get this kind of money. So at the end of the day, this is not a bad thing. Some people may be upset because it's not the guy that they want to be getting it. But hey, look, who knows what the future has for these guys if everything falls like it's supposed to. So, you know, if these numbers are true, I'm glad Andy Ruiz is getting an increase in his money. I'm glad Anthony Joshua's getting an increase in his money. Because ultimately, to me, it's about the fighters. I don't give a shit about Matchroom. I don't give a shit about Eddie Hearn because the fighters retired, but the promotional company keeps stepping, right? Yeah. So I hope these numbers are true, and I hope these guys do well. I hope the fight does well, and I'm looking forward to it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, people are forgetting. Let me just have a look at YouTube there. Yeah, okay, things are in order. Smash that like button, folks. If you've just come in and you haven't smashed the like button, or if you've been in for a while and haven't smashed the like button, but you're enjoying the show, then smash the like button. People are forgetting that Floyd got in excess of 200 million for the Conor McGregor fight, though, Phil.
You say what now?
Yeah, people are forgetting that Mayweather got reported in excess of 200 million for the Conor McGregor fight.
Well, yeah, he did. He got a guaranteed 100 million, and then on the back end, of course, you know, he got the pay-per-view. But it's no heavyweight that's ever been paid this amount of money.
Right. Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay. That's a good one. The heavyweights. Who are we going over to? We're going over to Big Boys Boxing.
Wow. It's almost 13%. Because, you know, combined purses would be 98 million.
Yeah.
Just say it's 100 million. 13%. Yeah. Wow. That's not a lot.
13%
for Andy Ruiz.
For Andy Ruiz, 13%. Yeah. So Andy Ruiz is in pain.
Yeah. But like you were saying about Eddie Hearn, I think capitulating too easily about going to the UK. He already knew he wanted to do a big show in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
The big bucks are there. I mean, it's a very rich country and a very poor country at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's a huge fight. Everybody on the planet who has an interest of boxing knows this fight's happening. They know Anthony Joshua lost his 3 belts.
Yeah.
They're watching to see if he can get them back, to see if Andrew Ruiz can be the king of heavyweight boxing. It's exciting, and it's going to do big numbers, man. So the amount of money doesn't really surprise me, being almost 100 million guaranteed between them, but the percentages really do surprise me. But it just goes to show that Andrew Ruiz just signed the contract to get the fight in the first place, and he's still under contract until this match is complete. So,
yeah,
you know, I was surprised he didn't get something like at least a 30% cut for a rematch in the contract. But that's the business, isn't it?
Andrew Ruiz is still being blessed.
He is. It's still going to be his biggest payday by far.
He's still receiving one hell of an anointment. That's $5 million originally, plus the 13. That's what that's $18 million from out of nowhere. This was a guy who always had skills, but he was in no man's land. And he went from no man's land to the promised land. Andy Ruiz went from no man's land to the promised land.
We don't know how much of that $5 million he got left. He's spending like a
yeah, absolutely. He's spending crazy, but I think he spent crazy because he knew that he had some more coming. So that was just like that $5 million. He treated just like pocket money.
Definitely.
Yeah, just treated that like pocket money. Yeah, pocket money. John D. Lee.
Well, I mean, I know the percentage is small of the total purse going to Ruiz, but other than the Joshua fights, his biggest purse was against Joseph Parker, and that was $770,000.
Yeah.
So by comparison, it's a huge increase in
massive.
And what's Wilder's purse for the weekend?
They're gonna say
he's getting $13 million.
They're gonna claim that.
You put, I mean, even
100 million.
Well, how much?
Well, look, hold on. Let me say this right here. I don't think Wilder's purse and his event has. I think that's two things. I want to keep them separate. Because although the Wilder and Ortiz fight to me is a big deal, right? Still being said, the AJ and Ruiz fight to me is more of a big deal because now you actually get to see what Anthony Joshua is made of. If it's just more question marks because he has to gain his titles back. You know what I'm saying? It's the controversy surrounding the Anthony Joshua fight, and it's just greater. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, no, it's two separate things, man. And another thing I want to just bring up that I don't think that previous purses should be brought into the equation, because at the end of the day, you need to take something by a basically a fight-to-fight basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
His fight against Joseph Parker is not nearly as big as his fight against Anthony Joshua. It's a bigger fight. It's more at stake. He should get paid more. You understand what I'm saying? So him getting $750,000 is irrelevant to the fact, considering the magnitude of the fight with Parker versus the magnitude of the fight with AJ in Saudi Arabia. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
for sure.
Andy Ruiz is clearly satisfied with the amount of money he's getting. Maybe not as satisfied as he would be, considering AJ's.
It's not 50 mil. He wanted 50 mil. He wanted 50 mil. Ruiz wanted 50 mil. He said he's not going to fight for a penny less than 50 mil. But let's look at this. Look at this. Andy Ruiz went from no man's land to the promised land. So he was. I think previous purses are a factor, and I'll explain why. Because when you look at what Joshua was earning in comparison to what Ruiz was earning, then I don't think the disparity is as big as it looks percentage-wise. If you look at the increase percentage-wise, I don't think the disparity is all that crazy.
If you look at it,
well, it's interesting.
If you look at it, on that basis, Joshua's purse has been increased slightly more than 4 times.
Right.
Andy Ruiz's purse has been increased by more than 13 times.
Case closed.
And like Phil said, it's not about what the other man's getting paid.
Tell that to Wilder.
I agree with Phil. Yeah. My favorite all-time fighter is Joe Louis, and look what happened to him. So I want the fighters to have as much money as possible.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if you can't retire off $13 million, then you're doing something seriously wrong.
And good riddance. If you can't retire off 13 mil, then good riddance.
And you know, what if Ruiz wins?
Yeah. Oh, damn.
His purses are only going to go up.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to give Ruiz all the credit because he signed when other people wouldn't fight, and he's changed his and his family's life.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't matter what AJ's getting paid.
Yeah.
But AJ's probably worth more than 85 million before this fight started.
I agree.
Yeah,
Percentage.
AJ's been, you know, this is why it's not surprising to me. You got to think about it. AJ's been the cash cow of the division. He's been the money man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you're the money man, you're going to keep being the money man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that AJ has had a fight against, it has been their career largest payday. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a fact. Okay? You know, a lot of people like to talk about different stuff, but that's a fact. If you fight against Anthony Joshua, you're going to potentially, have your largest payday. And factually, that is absolutely true at the moment. So, you know, let's stick to some facts here. You know, at the end of the day, he's the money man. So I'm not surprised about him getting an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah.
You know, you got to think about it. He spends a lot of time in that particular part of the country.
Yeah.
These people know him. You know what I'm saying? These people have been wanting him to come down and fight there. And you see that they handed him the keys to the city along with a big bag in order to do so. It's not surprising.
They gave him a vault. They wheeled in a vault on a truck, on the back of a truck. I think the key pertinent point there is the percentage wise, Ruiz's percentage increase is far greater than AJ's. Big boys boxing.
So what I find interesting, you know, AJ had been earning a. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you.
Hello.
Yeah. I hear you.
Okay. I'm wondering. AJ was earning around $20 million a fight in the last few fights, right? And now he's making 4 times plus that.
4 times
after losing.
But you see, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because when I was over at the Boxing Voice, you know, there was a lot of they tried to mock me, but a lot of the things that I said on this particular issue, but a lot of the things that were mocking points have come to pass. I'm not claiming to be any kind of psychic, not claiming that at all. But I said that
the Oracle.
I said that I was gonna travel over. I bought the ticket. I can prove that also. I bought the ticket. I was gonna travel over to California, to watch Tyson Fury, even though I'm not his biggest fan. But I felt something in my water. I felt that he was going to pull the upset. I think AD was over there at the time I was over there. AD can probably confirm this. He's in the chat right now. And I called in at the time. I wasn't on the panel at that time. I called in and we had a long chat. And I said, yo, I think that Fury's going to do this against all the odds. Because remember, Fury had just had 2 little fights with Pianetta and Francesca Pianetta and the other dude, whatever his name is. And I felt something in my water and I said, yo, I think I'm going to travel over to that fight. And they're saying, why, Raph? Why? Because I think something we're not expecting is going to happen. And that was obviously Fury. I think Fury's going to do it because Fury ain't dumb. He's a lot of things. But dumb is not one of them. And for him to take the fight, everybody thought, yeah, he's an idiot, including me. I thought, what's he doing? Including his dad. And then I slowly started thinking about it. I thought, you know what? I think he's going to do this. I actually bought the ticket to go over there. And then what stopped me from going was when I saw we had to wait to see what the undercard was. And then we saw the undercard, to me, was crap, garbage, rubbish. And then the prices of everything. We had to wait so long to find out what the undercard was, that the prices of the flight and the prices of the hotel, everything had gone up. So at that point, I wasn't going to travel over for one fight. So I sold my ticket. But I was going to go over. So they laughed at me at that. They mocked me, tried to mock me for that, but I was laughing at them. And then this thing, I said to them that to become the A side against AJ, you have to beat him twice. Now, you can call me the Oracle. You can call me the prophet. I called both of those things. I was slightly wrong. I was slightly wrong on the Fury thing, you know, slightly wrong, slightly. According to the record books, I was slightly wrong on the Fury thing, but I was bang on right on this thing. Bang on right. To beat AJ, I said you're going to have to beat him twice. I said AJ will still be the A side if you beat him once. Only if you beat him twice do you become the A side, and even that might be up for debate, because the money man is the money man. So yeah, I call that. And as for the Ruiz thing, percentage wise, Ruiz's income has escalated far greater than Joshua's. Joshua's just gone up 4 times. Ruiz has gone up 13 times. And so for people, and it's going to be an issue, there's going to be a talking point. People are going to be saying, why the hell? There's going to be some haters saying, why the hell is AJ earning so much and Ruiz earning so little? Well, my counter to that is Ruiz is earning more than AJ, percentage-wise. Big Boys Boxing. And then I'm going to go to John Daly.
Yo, in hindsight, the situation prior to the first fight with Ruiz and Joshua probably did AJ a favor when you're looking at his income, because he was able to put whatever he wanted for the rematch clause in there, and it's effectively given him a huge lion's share of the next fight. So, you know, when that first fight happened, I had this little theory that maybe they intentionally lost, and it could be that is the case. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it could be the case. But carry on. Yeah. You know, not only for monetary reasons to the fans, a real champion who takes a loss and then comes back and avenges it.
Yeah.
He's the man. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not saying it is what they did, but certainly could have been. Who knows? We probably will never know.
Hey, listen, if somebody's really good at maths, like Eddie Hearn's father, an accountant, and someone's really good at strategic planning, that would have been a great plan.
Yeah.
Well, just must I add just real quick, historically, if you go back and you look in history, whenever a top heavyweight, the money man in a division, whenever he loses, typically after he loses, his paydays increase exponentially. Just go back and you look at the history.
Big
happened with Mike Tyson, happened with Lennox. Just go back and look.
John D. Lee.
Well, when you look at, if you're going to talk about strategic planning, let's say AJ beats Ruiz. Who would he be fighting now? How could he get a fight that anybody was invested in?
Yeah. Because
what's he going to do?
Wilder don't want it.
Well, Wilder's fighting Ortiz. Fury's not available. Dillian, why? I think it would be an entertaining fight, but there's no public clamour for it.
No.
The younger heavyweights that are probably going to be good aren't ready yet.
Correct.
But now we've got a fight that's got what's AJ made of? How's he going to cope with adversity? Is he man enough to come back and beat the man that?
Is he man enough? Is he man enough
to go and do it? A man that had him down 4 times that made him look like a fool.
4 times, damn.
So, they couldn't have a bigger fight, no matter what they'd done this year, without the Ruiz loss. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theory, so
but I like to hear
maybe just the planets aligned right to make this fight a massive fight.
Yeah, I'll go with that theory.
Go on, Phil.
No. You know, I'm not a. I'm just putting out there. I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. But I mean, you know, again, this is all great points, is what I was about to say. But let me tell you something. I will say this: that hook that AJ hit Ruiz with when he dropped him, it didn't look like he was trying to lose. That's all I'm saying. It was vicious. It was vicious.
Yeah. I think a lot of people have forgotten about that left hook as well.
A lot of people forgot about it.
I also think a lot of people have forgotten about the right hand that put down Martin, which was a long range right hand.
Yeah.
That's probably heavier than that left hook. So everybody thinks AJ's going to run away.
Yeah.
But I think holding the center of the ring and throwing long, straight, heavy punches at Ruiz is the best plan, but we'll see.
We shall.
But the intrigue is there. The intrigue is there. That's the good thing about the situation.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
The intrigue is what's selling it.
Yeah, definitely. The intrigue is going to be selling it. And folks, we're doing the countdown. This is part of the countdown to Joshua Ruiz 2, the battle or the clash in the dunes, whatever they call it. And you know for sure that we've been able to raise the funds to get me over there. So I'm going to be here in the UK.
I was up for that, Raphael.
I'm going to be here in the UK in this very seat. And we will be doing it live. We're going to be doing the Fight Companion live. The clash in the rear, or whatever they call it, clash on the dunes. We're going to be doing it live over here. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Everybody welcome. Yeah, definitely going to get that PPV, even though talking about PPVs, the price for the PPV has gone up by 20%. Let's go around the table. Let's start with Phil Walker. 20% more over here in the UK. That's an extra £5, Phil Walker. It's gone from £20 or £19.95 to £24.95.
Let's be honest, that was going to be one of my questions. So,
yeah,
the fight for me,
I'm going to come back to you, Phil, because I can't hear you, my friend. I'm gonna come back to you, Phil, because your signal must be a little bit weak at the moment. So I'm going to come back to you after I've gone around the panel. So stick around. Big Boys Boxing, 20% increase in the pay-per-view fee over here in the UK. Your thoughts?
Yeah, personally, I think that's because Dillian White's going to be on the card now, and he's not going to fight for peanuts. So I think that's got something to do with it, and the fact that the intrigue is selling the fight so well. There's a lot of interest in it, so
yeah,
you know, supply and demand. If everyone's going to buy it, why not chuck an extra £5 on it?
Chuck an extra $5 on it. Those cheeky buggers over at Sky and Matchroom, because it's a joint enterprise. It's a joint crime. John D. Lee, 20%.
Well, you know you're paying it, don't you?
Sorry?
I didn't even question whether I was paying it when I saw the increase.
Exactly.
There's been all those videos on YouTube talking about. I haven't watched one because I know I'm paying it. So I'm not even getting upset about it. And I think we've covered the reasons why. Big Boy's point there. Dillian White's going on the undercard. Well, normally Dillian White headlines fights. Who's going to want some money?
Yeah. And
we've just been talking about astronomical sized purses. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not worried about it.
I'll tell you what I'm worried about. I'm worried about them keeping it at that price.
I don't think they'll be able to. It's the biggest fight this year.
Yeah.
You tell me another fight. I mean, they might do it for another one of AJ's fights if he wins and if he looks good and he has a good opponent.
Yeah.
But then, are you going to pay £25 to watch him fight Pulev if he wins?
Nah.
No.
Pulev.
And Eddie's not a stupid man. He knows that he'd probably actually make more money putting that one at £15 and get more people to give him their money.
Yeah. 100.
Eddie, when it comes to business, Eddie is a very smart man.
He's a smart man. He's a smart man. The LDBC may disagree with you, but they're not very smart, though. Phil Walker. Walker.
Look, check this out, man. The extra $5. Look, let me tell you something. Peanuts.
5 pounds.
Okay? Yeah, 5 pounds. Look, that's peanuts in comparison to what you get. You understand what I'm saying? Now, from my understanding, the fight's supposed to come on the zone, okay, as well. So I know you guys don't get the zone down there, but I'm a subscriber, of course, because I love boxing, and I don't have anything against Eddie Hearn. So at the end of the day, man, look, like I said, it's peanuts. They've already listed pretty much all the reasons why the price probably increased. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's the biggest fight of the year at the moment, and you really get to see if AJ is what people think he is. At the end of the day, and that's the main intriguing part right there. Okay, especially after people saying that he quit, he gave up, and all this other kind of stuff. Look, man, let me tell you something. That's the main thing. They're going to see what he's made of. He's going into camp. He's transformed himself. Okay, I think he knows what he's done wrong, and what a better stage to do it on. And then on top of that, you get 85 million. So yeah, there you go. Let's get it.
Can I ask Phil a quick question?
Yeah.
Phil, are you paying $75 at the weekend to watch Wilder Ortiz?
Absolutely. I'm boxing all day long, brother.
So to you, this talk of an extra £5 is for a £25 pay-per-view must sound
peanuts.
Like that. Yeah, exactly.
Peanuts. Peanuts.
Compared to what the Americans have to fork out, this is mild.
Man, come on, man. This is beyond mild. This is bland. You dig what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm gonna pay. Look,
it's like English food, Raphie.
Hey, look, I'm gonna pay the 75, and you know what? Then on top of me paying the 75, I'm gonna be at work and I'm gonna watch it on my phone. I'm not even gonna be at my house watching it.
Dang.
So yeah. So look, I'm all about boxing, man.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
Phil Walker, you seriously gonna pay $75 for Wilder v. Ortiz?
Yes, Ortiz is absolutely 100% my favorite heavyweight.
Okay.
He's my favorite heavyweight. Again, like I tell people, just because he's my favorite, I'm not saying he's the best out there. Okay. Right. I like his fighting style. I've been following Ortiz for a very long time. I knew who Luis Ortiz was before, everybody else did. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I follow the Cuban. I follow the Cuban fighters very, very hard because I like the way they fight. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm going to support Luis Ortiz, and I'm going to support Deontay Wilder, of course, because those two guys are fighting. I picked Luis Ortiz the first fight. I'm picking Luis Ortiz this fight. Me and Raphie have been going back and forth about this. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I like boxing, man. So it's hard for me to turn a cold shoulder to any fight that's going to have significance, whether it be Luis Ortiz, Wilder, or AJ Parker, AJ Takam. I just can't turn a cold shoulder to any of those kind of fights. I have to watch it. I think I got a problem.
Phil,
what you got?
Seeing as you're backing Ortiz to win, which I actually came out and said that before early doors, before I saw the sort of condition he was in when they announced the fight, I thought Ortiz had a good chance. Do you think he can get inside Wilder? Because if he gets inside Wilder's in trouble for me. How do you see Ortiz actually beating him?
That's a good question right there. I think if you want to
Sorry,
Phil, you're out of range.
Phil, your signal's gone weak again. I think, my friend. Can't hear what you're saying. It's kind of like
Can you hear me now?
Try again. Yeah,
Can you hear me now? Okay,
yeah. I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Well, what I think is based on the last fight, and based on, let's just say, every fight that Deontay Wilder has, you have a good chance of outboxing him, okay? Luis Ortiz showed that in the last fight, okay? So we know he can fight him from the outside. The only issue with that is you're sitting right on the end of Deontay Wilder's power when he throws his jab and he throws his right hand.
Yeah.
That's the only issue with that. To me, he's going to have to mix it up. Have to get inside, and he's going to have to keep Deontay Wilder basically from he's going to have to make him uncomfortable the entire fight. And I think you do that by not letting him throw out jabs and set up that right hand. If he can do that, keep Deontay Wilder, have great conditioning, I think he has a good chance of potentially beating him on points, or potentially, hopefully stopping him, because I don't want it to go to the cards personally.
I definitely think that's the way you beat Wilder. Wilder uses his jab as a rangefinder, and he only really gets the real power on his right at distance. If you get inside on him and hurt his body, I don't think Wilder's going to be a very happy man. I actually think Ruiz's style would be really hard for Wilder, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Getting just inside his range, or staying outside until he throws something big and misses, then Luis Ortiz can move in to get inside. But if Wilder's accuracy is on point, that's where a problem is, I think.
I think that's why you got to take his jab away. It's his jab. He relies on that jab to find the distance.
Yeah, if he controls the distance, he's got your number.
Yeah,
so
but
you can't
if
let
you
him
take his
sit.
jab off him,
Yeah,
he's got a problem.
But let's think about it though, right? His greatest detriment when he fought against Tyson Fury was that, guess what? You're actually fighting somebody that's bigger than you, that has a longer reach than you do. Okay? And guess what? Fury blew that in the 12th round when he went into Deontay Wilder's range. Okay? Soon as you get into his range, let me tell you something. A lot of people say a lot of bad things about Deontay Wilder, but it is some kind of what's they say? He has a mind behind the madness that he does, shall I say? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. With his technical flaws and everything, Deontay Wilder is a really patient fighter. You understand what I'm saying? And when Tyson Fury got to his range, he struck at the proper moment, and he connected with him. And everybody knows, if you connect, you see what happens.
If he connects, it's devastating. If he connects, Now, interestingly, first of all, I'm going to go with this. Right. Interestingly, you made a good point there, and it brought me to anybody who hasn't checked my video on Luis Ortiz's latest statements. This brings me to that. So, and Luis Ortiz has a controversial statement to make, and I believe him, and it's my opinion as well. And once again, the oracle comes out. I said that Luis Ortiz, I was kind of joking, only kind of though. I said Luis Ortiz went down, dropped to Wilder through indigestion. Okay, he dropped to Wilder through old age and indigestion. And Luis Ortiz has come out today, or last night, today, and said that Wilder hits hard, but the reason he lost the fight was because he said, I was exhausted. And I believe him. I think he lost the fight due to fatigue. He was just knackered. He was just knackered.
Ortiz actually said that in the post-fight. And if you look at the 5th round knockdown that Wilder scored on Ortiz,
Yeah.
Ortiz was fine.
Mm.
He got put down, but it was it hadn't discombobulated him.
Yeah.
He knew where he was, and then he went on and had his best rounds.
Yes.
I personally think Wilder's power's overrated.
Yeah.
I've never seen him land it on a prime hungry fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So until
he doesn't fight prime hungry fighters.
Yeah, exactly. So until he does that, yes, he's got power, but is it really more powerful than Vlad? Is it really more powerful than Povetkin? Is it really more powerful than AJ?
You see, Ortiz's statement, it speaks on that. It speaks on that. And I've said from it happened, I said Ortiz went down. I said through indigestion. I was joking, but he went down through fatigue. He went down through. The man was just tired. The man was just tired. He didn't look particularly bothered. He didn't look distressed. He was just tired, and he went down. Big boys boxing. How do you respond to that hypothesis, that train of thought?
I could definitely believe it. Did it possibly have anything to do with the heart condition he had at the time?
Yeah.
You could speculate there's something to do with that. But looking at the pictures of what shape Ortiz is in this time around, there'll be no excuses for fatigue unless age plays a part.
Mm-hmm.
So
20 months ago, 20 months later.
Exactly. So, there's also going to be people that are going to speculate that Ortiz has got something helping him with his conditioning.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Well, just
we're going to talk about that in a second.
But real quick before we move on to that, let me just say this right here. Yeah. And I've brought up that point several times. I brought up that point several times that I honestly think when Deontay Wilder dropped him in the 10th and they called the fight, I think Luis Ortiz wasn't hurt. I think he could have gotten up. I think his conditioning played a major factor in him losing that fight. And that's why this time around he took it upon himself to hire somebody to prepare his body for a 12-round fight. And I think that's going to be the difference. And he's leaving no stone unturned.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've got him losing in the 5th round. I've got him getting knocked out in the 5th round. But if he makes it to the 12th, and if he knocks out, if he beats Deontay Wilder, I will not be an unhappy man. Yeah, I'm being polite and being very diplomatic here. I will not be unhappy if Ortiz beats Wilder. I will not be in the slightest bit unhappy. There might be some dancing in the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio headquarters. It will not be filmed. Okay. Okay. So we're coming close to the end of the show. Because we touched on this, we have to touch on that. Let me word this correctly. Let me choose my words wisely. Is anyone, and we're starting with John Daly, is anyone suspicious of, let me get a picture up. Is anyone suspicious of Luis Ortiz's physical appearance? He's looking lean and mean. He's looking kind of ripped. John Dealey.
Yes. Right. When the fight was announced, which isn't that long ago, what they had, an 8-week camp?
Yeah.
Ortiz had some sort of massive Dillian White-esque food baby going on.
Uh-huh.
I'm 43. I maintain a lean physique all year round, and I know how hard that is.
Mm-hmm.
If I was as fat as Luis Ortiz is, even training 8 hours a day, that type of weight loss, the challenge to achieve it would be massive. On top of that, by the time you got in the ring, you'd have left everything in the gym.
That's the thing. And I'm still concerned about that, but carry on.
I think we could see that happen. The age thing as well. It's like I'm in good shape for a 43-year-old, but I'm 43. I carry loads of injuries.
Yeah.
So you can look good.
Yeah.
You can perform well, but when it comes to a situation where it's a contact sport, things are going to jar. You're just carrying those niggles. I mean, I'm just not. It's good that he's got into shape.
Yeah.
The other worry is I've been trying to find anything about the testing because I'm worried that if he does actually pull the upset, all of a sudden we're going to find that Luis Ortiz has failed a test and it's a no contest and Wilder retains his belt.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they fake a test to do that, to be honest.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Big boys boxing. Luis Ortiz, natural or supernatural?
Yo, I'm an older gentleman as well. I'm 41 years old, so I know what kind of impact age has on conditioning. You know, from about the age of 37, it starts getting harder to stay in shape. Once you hit 40, it starts to get a lot harder to stay in shape or get back into shape, either way around. Luis Ortiz looks in pretty damn good shape to me. You know, even looks better than when he was on steroids against Latif Coyote.
He does.
So it's hard not to speculate that there maybe is some kind of assistance he's getting pharmaceutically, but at the same time, it's compulsory to be in Nevada the WBC's clean boxing program, and we don't hear anything about tests unless there's failures, really. So I'm confident that Luis Ortiz at present has done it naturally. If he hasn't, I'll be the first to say shame on him if he gets caught. But
innocent until proven guilty.
Sorry?
Innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah, it is what it is for me. I wish the best for both guys in the fight.
Yeah.
I don't really care who wins, to be honest. Either guy, whoever wins, deserves it. And it's just been confirmed that they've got Kenny Bayless as the referee. So I'm very glad about that. I think he's the best referee in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully we're not going to get too much shenanigans from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Like last time, the controversy was Wilder got the opportunity to recover after a tough 7th round, but Luis Ortiz got put down several times in the fight, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission chose not to check him at all.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no bias with regard to that sort of thing this time around, and there'll be nothing for us to argue about. The winner will be the winner. That's it.
Boys, it was the New York Commission, so hopefully it definitely will happen.
It was New York last time. Yeah, that's right. It's Nevada this time.
Yeah. Nevada, New York, Nevada. Hold on, where are they fighting? They're fighting
Las Vegas.
Oh, they're fighting. Okay, yeah. That's right. Okay, so Phil Walker, natural or supernatural?
Look, let me tell you, man, it's all natural coming from Luis Ortiz in his camp. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so look. Everybody on this chat right now works out. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a part of working now, the most important thing is, of course, what you put inside of your body. Okay. Now, coming from Luis Ortiz, from my understanding, and since I've been following, he's never had a nutritionist and he's never had a strength and conditioning coach. Okay. He's always had somebody to work on his strength and conditioning, but never had a specialist. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for him to bring in a specialist along with a nutritionist, in coordination with a little hard work and dedication, you can get these kind of results naturally. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think Luis Ortiz knew the last time around he almost blew his chance. and I don't think he'll make that same mistake twice.
Mhm.
This fight coming up, of course, is going to be his largest payday year to date, as though his first fight against Deontay Wilder was his largest payday. And it's kind of one of those things where you're so close, you can taste it. I don't think he would be dumb enough to make the same mistake twice, but you never know. People do dumb shit all the time. Excuse my language. But I think Luis Ortiz this time around is not leaving any stone unturned. He saw the flaws in his last fight. Part of that was, guess what? Him not being conditioned well. And I think he's brought in the new people into his camp in order to slightly fix that flaw. And again, he's been saying, we're not going to change anything. We're going to come in better shape, and we're going to come in to win. So I think that's what he's going to do. I think it's all natural. And I think we're going to see the best Luis Ortiz that we can see at 40 years of age.
Okay. So Luis Ortiz coming in the best shape of his life. What we got here? What's going on here? What's going on here in the chat? Yeah. Let me just give a few shout outs. We got Scott joining us. Good morning to you, Scott, over there in Thailand. Don't be cheap, he says. Smash that like button. And also, you want the PPVs over here, so go ahead and smash that PayPal button. All for the price of a pint of a beer. We got, who else we got here? We got Aaron Mason, AD, Buzz Lightyear, Shola Ebofin, and who's this? Mark Biancazori. What's the Wilder ticket? Ortiz ticket. What's the Wilder Ortiz ticket sale? The reports that I have read are that the tickets are going slowly, and they have dropped the prices of the tickets. Don't know why I'm talking like this. Steve O also in the building. Yeah, so sluggish. People didn't want it to be a PPV, but it is a PPV, and that's the way it is now. Ain't no turning back. So all we're looking forward to now is to see if Ortiz, 20 months down the line, 4 months shy of 2 years. Ortiz, how old is Ortiz? Phil Walker, how old is Ortiz?
40.
No. Not. See, how old is he really? How old do you think he's? You're not talking about what he wrote down, scribbled down on a piece of paper. You know, a lot of people in the third world, and I'm not mocking Cuba. A lot of people generally in the so-called third world don't know their date of birth. Are you aware of that, Phil Walker?
Absolutely.
And so I put it to you, Phil Walker, that even Ortiz himself might not know how old he is.
Well, you know, look. Let's be honest about this. As you just mentioned, those guys, you know, truly, and I don't think it's purposely done. I mean, just at the end of the day, I think whenever they, you know, come up, some of these guys, whenever come up with an age, just the age to start from, right? So, you know, and again, I'm not mocking Cuba or any other country that does that. You know, it's just a fact, okay? I mean, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Even here in the States, coming up in like myself, because I'm an amateur fighter, right? Even as an amateur fighter, you get guys that lie about their age all the time. You know what I'm saying? All the time, right? But at the end of the day, hey, it's just a fact, man. Those guys a lot of times don't know their age, man, coming from these countries such as Cuba and even Haiti. You know,
Caribbean countries, African countries. I mean, my mom. I mean, my folks come from Jamaica. My mom used to tell me. She said, I didn't know when it was my birthday unless somebody told me.
Yeah, I mean that's just a fact.
Yeah.
But you know, as of right now, I tell you what, this is gonna be the telltale right here. Luis Ortiz, we're going to see how he looks against Deontay Wilder. Because let me tell you something. You can look good, you can be in shape, but you know what doesn't lie? The legs. The legs never lie. Okay? The legs never lie. The legs is going to always show your true age. I don't give a damn who you are. So we'll see.
We're going to see. We're about to find out. You see, my position on this whole thing is that a person can look in great shape. You see, my fear is that Luis Ortiz has focused his training on the losing the fat. It's been focused on losing the fat. And, you know, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. That's not the worst thing in the world. My concern is he's going to come in drained because he had to work so hard to get into this kind of condition. And, you know, that can have an adverse effect. You could come into the fight flat and drained. I hope that's not the case. I hope the time it is working with, what's that guy's name? Balco. The guy with the little thin pencil mustache, the clear guy, the guy used to Conte. So yeah, we're working with Conte, and Conte is extremely knowledgeable. He knows how to prep people and get them to cruise in optimally. So, you know, I like Conte. I mean, he did some things with the steroids and whatnot. I mean, he wasn't he working with Ben Johnson? He was working with Ben Johnson. I mean, outside of boxing and combat sports, you know, a little bit of pep in your step, a little something to put a pep in your step on the track. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff happens all the time. That's widespread. Everybody's doing it. So it's a kind of level playing field. It's like the Tour de France. Everybody's doing it. So, you know, I'm not mad at Lance Armstrong for doing what everybody else was doing. Ben Johnson, I'm not going to go off on a tangent and diversion, but Ben Johnson, according to him, they've caught him for a steroid, which he was not using. That's for another show. Let that sink in. That's for another show. Carl Lewis, he got popped for something and they hushed that up. You know, so that's for another show. We're going to finish off with Deontay. Big Boys Boxing's got to fly out. Much appreciation for your participation. Thank you, Big Boys Boxing. This guy's on channel. Go check him out. So, we're going to finish off with Deontay Wilder, an article by Deontay Wilder. I'm going to read it. It says, or do I share it? May as well put that shizzle up on the screen. We're going to finish out with this. I know it's way past John Dealey's bedtime.
No gym tomorrow, Raphie.
Oh, good man.
6 days straight.
Damn.
3 hours of gymnastics tonight. So no.
Damn. Need a day off, bro. Need a day off. Well earned. Okay, we're going to finish off with this. Deontay Wilder declined the Dan's $100 million deal because of dishonesty. So according to Deontay Wilder, let me get to the pertinent points because I ain't reading all of this shizzle. In March, the zone offered Wilder $100 million. Damn, I'm getting a lot of messages coming through. Anyway, let me just mute that. Matter of fact, let me just mute the chat for a second. Mute the notifications. Yeah, 1 hour. Good. Boom. Okay, so in March, the zone offered Deontay Wilder $100 million for a 3-fight package deal, including 2 fights with Anthony Joshua. The WBC heavyweight champion eventually declined they're using the word here, nascent OTT streaming platform. Nobody knows what that is. All right. Declined the Dan's offer, the zone offer, payday, and went on to fight Dominic Breezel on longtime broadcast partner Showtime, destroying Breezel in 1 round. Okay. I didn't take the zone offer because the people that were representing the zone were coming with an offer that wasn't upfront and truthful with me. Wilder told the boxing scene. They came back and apologized to us. They knew they were in the wrong. The money was not going to be the motivator of everything. I bet on myself. I make way more money than what they're offering. We don't believe you. You need more people. They were not honest within the information. Blah, de, blah, de, blah. When asked to elaborate, Wilder instead chose not to offer too much in response other than to say, it is what it is, and I'll keep it like that. Okay, so Deontay saying that he earns more than the zone were offering. He earns more than, let me stop that. Let me stop sharing that. He earns more than the zone were offering. Phil Walker. Deontay Wilder claims he earns more than the zone were offering. So in effect, he's saying that in his three fights, he does earn more than $100 million. Phil Walker.
Well, look, let me say this right here. You know, I've never really been into counting people's pockets, but let me say this right here.
Yeah.
Based on, well, let me say this right here. I don't think Deontay Wilder is a liar. That's my first thing, right? Now,
You do not.
I do not. Okay. I do not think he's a liar in general. So let me elaborate on that. Now,
yeah.
Based on the purses that we see from Deontay Wilder,
yeah,
he is extremely not just a hair shy. He's extremely shy of the $100 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you sit down and you just kind of, do the math, you say, okay, look, 3 fights, $100 million. I don't know if you're making that much money if you just really sit down and do the math. Now, with that being said, what's the saying? I was born at night, but not last night. You know what I'm saying? So you can sit down and you can do the math, and it just doesn't add up.
No.
But I think if Deontay Wilder says this is the kind of money he's making, I don't see any reason for him to, make that up. Now, where the money's coming from, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to see the actual figures that Deontay Wilder is speaking about, because as of right now, I don't see the money. I don't see it. And that's just me. Yeah. But again, I don't think he would lie about it. I just need to see proof. That's my whole deal.
Yeah. Let me come in on that. I think Deontay Reason has every motivation to lie. I do find Deontay Wilder to be a liar. Okay, so let me go ahead and substantiate that. Deontay Wilder, in my estimation, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is a consistent liar. Now, I'm not saying that from a biased point of view. I wish I could say otherwise, but to me, from what I've seen him, and I will substantiate it, from what I've seen of him, he is an habitual. Deontay Wilder, from what I've seen of him, from the contradictory statements that I've read about, which I will substantiate, Deontay Wilder is an habitual liar. In his dealings with Dillian White, there were multiple times where he contradicted himself. He said, he started off by saying, oh, they just want to compare us, man. I ain't fighting Dillian White. They just want to compare us. In the next breath, he said, yeah, well, I'll fight him. I never said I wouldn't fight him. I will fight him. But, they got to up the money. They got to make the money right. Then it went on further negotiations back and forth, this and that in the press, and this, that, the other. They said, well, put Joshua on the contract. And Eddie Hearn said no. Then when Eddie Hearn eventually put Joshua on the contract, then Deontay Wilder moved the goalposts again. So Deontay, well, I find that Deontay Wilder is a man who continually and perpetually moves the goalposts. Yeah, now that's a form of lying. Moving the goalposts is a form of lying. Okay, so now he agreed to fight Dillian White for, what was it, 6 million? 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, in that ballpark, between 6 and 8 million. Now, if Deontay Wilder is saying that he makes, what does he say? He said he makes more than 100 million for 3 fights. Okay, so what? So why would a man who makes in excess of 33 million per fight agree to fight Dillian White for 6 million or 8 million when he makes 33 million, in excess of 33 million per fight? Why would he be agreeing to fight Dillian White for between 6 and 8 million?
That's a good point.
For a man who makes in excess of 33 million per fight, why did he agree to fight Anthony Joshua for 15 million? I find that the man Deontay Wilder is a perpetual, incessant liar. Very strong term, but there you have it. Too many contradictions with the fella. Too many contradictions with the fella. Now, as a man, as an entertaining fella, now do I think I would enjoy being in a bar, having a drink, chatting with Deontay Wilder? Yes, I do. I do think I would enjoy that. Am I condemning him as a human being? No, I am not. But I am saying, as far as truth is concerned, Deontay Wilder is not my go-to guy. John D. Lee.
Yeah, the contradictions in Deontay Wilder's behavior are too well documented. One name, one face, unification. That's what we need to do. 6 months later, it's not even about the belts anymore. It doesn't matter. Now we're back to one name, one face again. And for me, when Deontay Wilder when I first knew about him, Vlad was still the #1 heavyweight. And I was just desperate for the end of the Vlad era because it was boring the tears out of me.
Terrible.
So I was hoping that Deontay Wilder was actually going to be the man to finish it. I was quite happy to get behind him. But it just, nothing happened. And slowly and gradually, everything that he said has just been too inconsistent for me. As for him lying about his purses, well, currently he looks really stupid for not taking the DAZN money.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like at the moment. So that's his reason for lying, because I think Deontay Wilder has a huge ego problem.
Terrible problem.
I think the whole issue with making the AJ fight was he wasn't the A side.
Yeah.
I think Wilder thinks he can beat AJ personally. I don't really think. I don't think he would myself, but I could be completely wrong.
Okay.
But he wants to be the A side, and he's done lots of things to try and become the A side, but failed.
Yeah,
it's the whole point of the Fury fight for me.
But you see, here's the thing: Deontay Wilder to me was unconcerned with being the top man. He was happy with the WBC belt. He was unconcerned with being the top man. He was happy with the one belt. It's only when AJ inadvertently shamed him, when AJ's income started to shame him, when he came over to the UK and he saw that AJ was a superstar in the land, in the whole of the land, whereas he was only a superstar in Alabama at most, that really got Deontay Wilder galvanized. It galvanized him. He said, "Oh, yo, hold on. I can do better." It's like you got a friend. You got 2 kids in a garden, and one kid's really proud that he can jump over a 2-foot fence, and then his friend jumps over a 2.5-foot fence. All of a sudden, he doesn't feel so good anymore. Now he's got to be able to jump over that 2.5-foot fence too. But he was happy. The kid was happy when he was jumping over that 2-foot fence alone. But when he saw the next guy go 2.5 foot, then he started to look at himself in a negative way and say, hold on, we got to change this shizzle. We got to change the shizzle. You heard him on the commentating on the, was it Joshua v. Charles Martin? Was that it?
No, it's the Vlad fight.
Oh yeah, it was the Vlad fight. You heard him commentating on the Vlad fight, and he said, "Yo, man, we don't have anything like this over here. This is amazing, man. We got it." And at that moment, Wilder felt, yo, I'm only scratching the surface here. I'm only scratching the surface over in America. Look at this. Look at these 70. What was it, Amy? 90? Was it 90,000 people?
It was, wasn't it 80 for
90.
80,000 people.
90 for?
No, it was 90. It was 90,000.
Okay, 90,000 people. That's what I thought. 90,000 people. And in conclusion, like I said, what Wilder's saying doesn't add up. Why would a man who's earning in excess of $33 million accept 6 or 8? No, nonsense. Why would a man who's earning in excess of $33 million accept 15? Nah.
Well, let me tell you this right here. If look, this is just me. If I was making $33 million per fight, and my purses was saying $15 million, you can best sure I keep letting people think it was $15 million because they don't play about tax evasion here in the States, buddy. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
So if that is the case,
yeah,
you might want to be quiet and keep that on the hush hush. That's just my opinion. You know, I'm no tax accountant or lawyer, but you know, I'm just saying. I hear
you. But in conclusion, I find Deontay to be not a credible witness. Final words, not just about that. Well, final words on that. I mean, Phil, I know your opinion. Your final words on that. John Dealey, do you find, well, I'll go around the table. I'll ask each man, do you find Deontay Wilder, Phil Walker, to be a credible witness?
Well, look, let me say this right here. Do I find him to be a credible witness?
Yeah. Is he credible? Is his words credible? Is he the man who you can depend on his word to be truthful?
Well, no comment. No, I'm just fucking with you. Hey, look. Hey, look. I will say this. I will say this. I'm going
to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you because I sense. Remember, I'm a man with good senses. I sense you're trying to be loyal to your American guy, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But that is what I'm sensing. That is what I sense, Phil.
So look, let me tell you this right here.
Yeah.
I will say this right here.
Yeah.
I think Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. He's a fantasist. No, I'm joking. Carry on.
He tells
speak it, believe it, receive it. So if he says it today, it's gonna come true tomorrow. What is it the Jay-Z said? What is it the Jay-Z said? He said, talk about it now and hope you get it later.
I will say this. I'm not gonna. He's very misleading. Let me say that right there.
Phil,
we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it at that. He's very misleading. You know what I mean?
Phil, where do you live, Phil? Texas. You're a Texas guy.
Texas. Yes. I'm Texas.
Phil, I'm gonna recommend they put you up for mayor. You should be the mayor of Texas, bro.
Hey, look, let me tell you something, man. Funny story, man. I'm big. I'm actually big into politics down in my city, man. And you know what? Let me tell you something. You're not the first person that said that. Everybody wants me to run for something, but you know, my time's gonna come for that. That's another conversation for me and you later on, Ralph.
Word is born. John Daly.
Well, first of all, I want Phil to have my back. He doesn't break easy, does it?
Yeah, for real. You should be a solicitor, you're a lawyer. You get legal issues.
I respect you. I respect you on not wanting to do your man in.
I respect that. He doesn't want to.
Yeah. No comment. He's misleading. You know, we gonna leave it right there.
I'm happy with that, Phil. I'm happy with that. I just don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth.
I don't believe a damn word that comes out of his mouth.
I think all of it is orientated around his own ego. I think he thinks having a big ego is part of being
who he is,
boxing champion. Yeah. I think he's a bit, To be honest, Raphie, this is just going to descend into me slating him.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. That's why I stopped. Yeah. Sure. That's why I just said. That's why I couched the question the way I did: credible witness or not credible witness.
No, I'm more of a final words generally.
Yeah,
is really harking back to what you were saying and what I was touching about Luis Ortiz.
Yeah,
I'm worried that the amount of weight he's lost, even if he's only 40. Let's just say he is 40 for now.
He's at least 47. Well, let's just go with 40.
Well, I've been 40 and I've gone past 40. I know
40 also,
what that type of rapid weight loss would do to you as an individual.
Yeah.
It's unlikely he'll be in his best form in the ring if he's done it naturally. He'll have left it in the gym.
That's what I'm saying. I think I hope I'm wrong, but from what I know about anatomy and physiology, I fear he's left it in the gym. It's difficult to do what he's done so quickly. It's difficult. He's done so.
Well, let me say this real quick. Luis Ortiz has not lost 1 pound since he's been in training camp.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's the body fat, and that's the issue, Phil. I don't want to be cheeky. How old are you, Phil?
I'm 33.
Okay. And if you're fighting regularly, have you ever let yourself get really out of shape?
No. I stay within 10 pounds of my fighting weight at all times.
Okay. So when you're maintaining that type of regular thing, your body is always primed. You're in your right weight range. Did you see how big Luis Ortiz was when they announced the fight?
Yeah, and hey, look, let me tell you something. I did whenever they announced the fight, when he was inside of the ring with Deontay Wilder, I said, man, Luis Ortiz is going to have to whip himself into some serious shape, because even his shirt was baggy and you could still tell that he had a little weight on him. And this is my guy. Don't get me wrong. This is my guy.
Yeah.
But I need to be credible when I talk about this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine, Phil. And just as somebody who's in their 40s and I'm trim. I'm very trim.
He's very trim.
I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'm 168 pounds. That's what I walk around all the time. And that's me upside down in that avatar about a month ago.
What's that? Light heavyweight?
No, I'm super middle, me, Raph.
That's a middle.
Oh, okay.
I'm super middle. I'm 168 pounds.
Oh, 60.
That's my walking around weight.
Okay, yeah.
I could drop to middleweight quite easily.
Okay.
So I'm fine. I've always got my strength because I'm not losing weight. I'm maintaining weight.
Yeah.
But I've been through processes of losing weight in the past, and it weakens you a lot. Especially significant weight, like more than a stone in a short period of time.
Yeah.
And they only announced a fight 8 weeks ago, didn't they?
8 weeks
it's not been a 12-week camp even.
Yeah.
That's my worry about it.
I think that I hope I'm wrong, that Luis Ortiz may leave something in the gym. I hope I'm wrong. I very much hope I'm wrong, because like I said before, I would not be in the slightest upset to see Luis Ortiz take Wilder out. Am I a Wilder hater? No, I'm not a Wilder hater, but I wanted to do better. I wanted to be more competitive. Like I said before, my stance on Wilder is that he was cool in the gang. He was cool in the gang, earning $1 million, $2 million, $1 million here, $2 million there. Maybe $5 million was his highest purse when he fought Ortiz. Yeah, maybe they put a cherry on top. They probably put a cherry on top all the time, but it's not that big a damn cherry that he can come out with what I think is a blatant, bare-faced. We say bare-faced over there in America. You say bold-faced. Either way, bare-faced lie that he earns more than the zone offered him, which means that he earns more than $33 million per fight. I think that's a crock of you know what. I don't find him a credible witness. I wish he would just tell the damn truth. He was cool in the gang. He was cool in the gang, being flying under the radar in America. Nobody knew the hell he was unless you was a hardcore boxing fan. He didn't grow the sport over there. AJ revolutionized the sport over here. It blew up. Housewives know his name. Children know his name. AJ worked. He blew the damn sport up over here. And in the meantime, Deontay Wilder was over in America resting on his laurels. And then he jumped on the next man's shirt tail, and he's been riding the next man's shirt tail ever since. I will not accept that or respect that. And yeah, AJ Wilder needs to step his damn game up. He needs to grow the sport in America, and he needs to just stop the consistent bullish. Yeah. We all have friends like that. We all have friends who every time they open their damn mouth, you know, you're wondering, is it true? Sometimes they tell the truth. Sometimes they're lying out their ass. And I'm afraid to say I find Deontay Wilder one of those guys. But then on the flip side of that, those guys are entertaining. They've always got some BS to tell you. Every now and then it's true. Most of the time it's a little bit of truth mixed in with a lot of BS. You know, Wilder needs to step his damn game up, but I don't think he really cares that much. Wilder has been in the PBC protection program. They protect him. They give him soft touches for the most part. Only time he really stepped up was against Stavern, and Stavern was like pushing 40 back then. I think Stavern was 37. And then he stepped up again against Ortiz, a guy who had medical conditions, a guy who barely passed the medical to get in the ring. So Deontay Wilder has not been an ambassador for the sport in the way that AJ has been. Deontay Wilder was just picking up his check and knocking out bums for the most part. Only stepped up against Stavern, and then again against Ortiz, and he only took the Fury fight. Damn. Going hard on the guy. He only took the Fury fight because he thought Fury was washed up. That's my final word of the show, I think. John Dealey, you got anything to add? Just quick, brief sentence.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to the fight the weekend.
I'm looking forward to the fight too.
I definitely think it's going past the middle round.
Sound a bit muffled.
I think it's going past the middle round.
Okay.
I think Ortiz is going to last about the same amount of time as he did last time because I think so, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But I am actually looking forward to it. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But even then, you see, Wilder didn't really step up. He could have stepped up. He could have challenged himself.
It's not a step-up fight.
No, it's not a step-up fight. What he could have challenged himself. He could have stepped up. Even now, you see, even now, he had the opportunity to step up and he could have signed with AJ. But no, he's lying. I make more than the zone offered me. That's bullish. Nobody on the Wilder side has ever said that nonsense. Ever. And then he comes out with that. Nah, that just pees me off, man. But okay, so Phil Walker, sorry to go in on your guy like that. Sorry. But I had to just say it. You know what? There's a song which I love. It's a reggae song, and it just says, tell it like it is. Phil Walker.
All right. So let me just give it to you real straight like it is again, because, you know, when I speak about these things, I need to be credible. Let me say this right here. Deontay Wilder, as a boxer, I do think his career started out very slowly. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he realizes that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Deontay Wilder is one of those boxers that do listen to outside influence as far as the fans. And that has been one of the biggest narratives that people have stamped him with. So now I do feel as though he is trying to overcome that narrative by fighting better opponents because he knows that he doesn't have much longer to go in his career. because we all know Deontay Wilder. He as he keeps telling us that his body's breaking down on him, you know. So I think he wants to polish his career off and fight some high-level opponents, and I think that's what he's trying to do right now at the moment. I do think Deontay Wilder is one of the best heavyweights in the world.
Yes,
absolutely. I also think that Anthony Joshua is. Of course, I think Andy Ruiz is. I think Tyson Fury is.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to the rematch with Ruiz and AJ. We get to see what AJ's made of, and we get to see if Andy Ruiz is the real deal as well. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the rematch with Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz because I want Luis Ortiz to get his shot before, of course, he decides to call it quits because you know, he's getting up in age. I say he's 40, but it's been speculation that he's somewhere up close to the age of 50. So I mean, who knows, right? Yeah. So I'm excited about seeing that. Outside of that, man, I think heavyweight boxing is in a good place right now, but I think it could be a lot better. These guys absolutely need to fight each other, so we can make these conversations a bit more straightforward. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff we speak about now is speculation and basically pointing out the flaws of each fighter as well as the things that they do good. So with that being said, these guys need to fight each other. And guess what? Each fighter doesn't need to be worried about what the other fighter's making. Make what you need to make you feel comfortable and you know, provide for your family. And that's all that matters at the end of the day for me personally.
100%. And lastly, who do you have winning the fight? John Daly, Ortiz v Wilder, and how?
I've got Wilder KO. I think it'll go late because I actually think Wilder's best attribute is his engine, not his power. I think he'll take him out around the 10th, maybe a bit later, but I think he'll knock him out in the end.
Okay. Phil Walker.
I picked Luis Ortiz the first fight, as I mentioned earlier. He's my guy. I'm going with him the second fight. I think that Luis Ortiz is going to have to beat Deontay Wilder by a KO because at the end of the day, I don't think the referees will give it to him on points. But let me say this. I do think Deontay Wilder has a slight edge because of the simple fact of momentum. Okay. His last few fights, he has created a lot of momentum, and that does carry over with you into the next fight. So I will give him the edge based on that hypothesis right there. But I'm going with Ortiz because he's my guy, and with the right game plan, I think he can get Deontay Wilder out of there.
Okay. And I have to give my opinion also. I see Deontay Wilder knocking out Luis Ortiz, and I've got him knocking him out in the 5th. Now, I hope that I am wrong, and if Luis Ortiz ends up starching Deontay Wilder, then I will not be an unhappy man. Okay, so we've gone way over time, but I was enjoying it. I always enjoy it, but you know, I didn't want to cut this short because there are a lot of big topics to be discussed and chopped up. So it was only 50. And
big bags too. Big bags.
Big bags. For real. Big topics to chop up, big bag to chop up, big bag to talk about. There were too many big topics. I couldn't really cut it short. That would not do the topics justice. So I was prepared to go in deep. Got in early, Had a little nap beforehand. And so, yeah, I'll be good for tomorrow. I'll be good in the morning. So I just want to thank John Daly for stepping in. I want to thank Phil Walker for stepping in. Always jump in, my friend, whenever you are available, whenever you want to chop it up. You're always welcome to jump in over here. Your input is much appreciated, especially giving the stateside kind of view, a voice from stateside. That's great. And then, of course, the local lad, John Daly, giving his input. Always appreciated. And, of course, taking it all around the world, going down into the southern hemisphere. We have the regular contribution from Jono from down in New Zealand. Big Boys Boxing. Appreciate everybody who takes time out of their day to come and share their views with you. Hope you appreciate it too, guys. You guys in the chat, I'm sure you do. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that PayPal button. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comment, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Thank you, one and all contributors, people on the panel, people in the chat, people who are watching it live, people who are going to watch it in the future. Yeah, and that covers just about everything. We've chopped up the PBC versus the LDBC, or the other way around, the LDBC versus the PBC. Cali Enigma cannot get a press pass for love nor money. Cali, if you want to come and talk about it, feel free to jump over here. I know you said some harsh things, my friend, but you know, I understand that, you know, infantile minds say infantile things. So I don't hold it against you, bro. One day you'll grow up. Yeah. Chopped up a load of topics. It's been good. Thank you to everybody. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. It's the Phil Walker. It's the John Daly. It's the Big Boys Boxing. And it's you guys in the chat. And it's good night. Blessed.